Everybody, welcome to the Raptors Republic live draft show. I'm Samson Folk, and I am flanked by Esfandiar Berhani over here and Trevon Heath over here. He's blowing up, everybody. While you guys introduce yourselves or talk about, actually, yes, you are going to be here for about 3.5 minutes, so stay high. I'm going to crack a Mountain Dew. Let us know how you're feeling tonight.
Yeah, this podcast is brought to you by... No, it's not brought to you by... What's the logo for Mountain Dew? What's the saying? Do they have a saying?
Do the do, baby.
Do the do. Okay. All right. Now, I'm feeling good, man. I'm excited. I'm very excited about this draft. I honestly, I'm at the point where I'm ready to see what happens here. There's been so much hoopla and rumors and private workouts and this and that and this that I just kind of want to get it over with at this point. But I'm very excited for it. Very, very excited for it.
And if anybody is in here and wants to go watch full NBA stuff, where will you be heading right away?
Yeah, I'm headed to The Athletic. We're going to do a live show for the lottery. I will pop back in here so we can react to the Raptors pick as a family. And then, we'll go from there, man. Yeah.
And also, I'll say, for everybody who's interested about the coverage after the draft, this trio... Oh, wait, I guess I shouldn't say it publicly. Never mind. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm not saying it. I don't know. Anyway, so... anyway, hey, it's draft night. I'll set the tone. I'll set the tone for it, and then I'll ask Trey how he's doing. So what's going to happen is Trey and I, for the most part, we're not reacting to the broadcast. We're reacting to the tweets. I'm going to trust that Shams is probably going to be breaking things correctly if he does. And then since neither Trey or I think, are going to have the broadcast pulled up, the chat, I'm going to keep... Actually, Nabil is in chat. Nabil is going to have to let us know who's getting picked, I think. But we are not above reacting to a tweet. So for people who do want to react with the broadcast, that will not be the game.
Do people still do that? I love the fact that people still do that. Hell yeah. Good for y'all.
Definitely. Well, it's awesome. I wish we could. I just don't have cable. I'm not part of the elite cable class. You know what I mean? Yeah. Trey, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm blessed to be one third of this amazing trio. 66% of this pod is finals credentialed journalists. So
brother,
happy to be here.
You want a little dew to sort out the acid reflux? You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll be back. I'll see you guys later.
All right, S is popping out
later.
And ND says I'm gonna watch the broadcast, but I'm gonna leave it thank you, ND. Yeah. On this podcast, we don't co-sign IPTV.
TV.
That would not be correct. But Trey, I know we did a podcast about it, but just to reiterate for people who have been here or haven't been here prior and listening and tuning into all of that, who do you want tonight? Let's go through that first. People don't know you've been championing an unpopular pick in Raptors territory.
Oh, big Baltimore. Derek Queen, which I think if he doesn't fall at 7, I think will be there for the Raptors. Based on everything on how the Raptors play, they want pass, shoot, dribble guys. Derek Queen's driving numbers are out of this world, especially from a big man level. And the level of skill that he has will allow the Raptors to play in ways that they haven't really been able to. A lot of the things that they do are ran and manufactured. I know we've said this tons of time, but they were the worst dribble penetration team in the NBA. So why not get one of the best advantage creators and put him beside Scotty?
I'm not exactly where you are. And I know there's been a lot of smoke around Noah Senge. Neither you or I were extremely high on him. I think during the podcast we were saying, we're not super, and afterwards, let me know if you disagree. But summing up our conversation, I think we weren't super convinced on the athleticism. I think I said I'd expect him probably value-wise to go somewhere 13 to 18. And if the Raptors do select Noah Senge, I think it's a really big vote of confidence in not only his production, but also some things that he's putting on tape that might be popping more to, like, let's say the front office than yourself and myself. As Phoenix Plays E says, the markets really like him going to us. I never really care about. It's just, especially with this kind of speculative stuff. But where are you on Sene? After he's had positive momentum, he had that bad series against Bayern Munich, but he played pretty well in the semis.
I think for me picking him, it's a big vote of confidence in how the Raptors think they can develop and add and topple over additional skills. I think the selling card with the Sene is obviously what he can do in transition and some of his movement skills at his size. He has true big man size, which is rare for a guy that can move kind of well. But I'm unsure that he actually has high tier athleticism. I think he isn't slow like a mile watch, but he utilizes his length fairly well to move around the court, and the smaller court helps with that overall. I think if you could tell me that he'd be able to guard on the perimeter, be a strong defender, I probably could see the vision, but most of his defensive impact comes from the weak side. And if you aren't doing that against less athletic players in Europe, it's hard for me to see that happening in the NBA with better athletes and a wider court, honestly.
Would the Raptors selecting him make you question? Do they have the juice to make you reevaluate immediately?
Yeah, because I based on the moves that they've made since the deadline, it doesn't fall in line with the vision that they're going with. Sene is probably someone that you're hoping really contributes year 3, year 4 as he becomes a better shooter, adds something to his hand, and he'll be able to penetrate and do things from that perspective. But he wouldn't help the team within probably the first couple years or so. So it doesn't really align, and I think there's honestly just better players at the 9 spot.
So Phoenix Plays E says my idealized version of Noah is Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels is sick, but I think it is idealized. And Jaden went 28. The Wolves didn't have to swing wildly for him. But we have from Kweze Thomas says, Trey, are you sure you're taking into sufficient consideration the character consideration surrounding Queen? That makes him a very un-Raptors-y pick in my book. Am I, by reading this comment, doing disinformation? Is there something out there about Queen?
There's reports on lack of competitiveness, work ethic. Some people have been turned off, but for me, I always consider myself a fan, and I can't judge a player's character and someone I do not know. I just judge what I see on the court personally.
That's it's a pretty safe one, especially since players oftentimes can get the complete opposite rap of what they actually are. It's just kind of damn. Raps VE says Jalen McDaniels, maybe not Jaden for a Sene. And OG3 says, is Jonathan Isaac in a Sene comp? I always thought Jonathan Isaac was a far better mover than what I was seeing on the Sene tape. But honestly, if someone sees that, I wouldn't give you a hard time, because I saw Jonathan a lot in his second year, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. But I thought he was a lot smoother than how Sene moves. But I mean, that's kind of where we're at. JD Hunt says fatness is a moral failing, I guess. I mean, we have a very close friend who swears by the Goggins manifesto, and I'm pretty sure that's the second line in it.
I don't know. I think in the playoffs it showed you need huff, you need girth, you need guys who can really play with physicality. And Derek Queen, he does that in big strides. Skinnier players in the NBA have a really hard time dealing with physicality. So I think it's a plus, to be honest.
You have to be supremely skilled to get around the skinny stuff. And that's actually, in the video where I was suggesting trade options for the Raptors, and I said Darius Garland was a guy to keep an eye on. I do think Darius Garland is a great case study for skinny. How can you do it? Because Darius will always be slight, and he's supremely skilled. I'm waiting to see him get a healthy playoff run in his prime and see if he can overcome a few different types of defense. And that would go a long way, because Garland is supremely talented. He's one of the best dribblers in the league. He's one of the best passers in the league. He's one of the best shooters in the league. If he can't get around the slight stuff, then then it's tough, but I do believe he can. Phoenix Plays East says, I remember someone arguing IQ Darius in that Twitter thread. A lot of people argued that, man. Like last year, Darius was obviously coming off of a terrible injury. He broke his jaw. When you break your jaw, you lose the rest of your faculties, basically, So anyway, Will Clausen says it's okay to be skinny for name Shea. Yeah, Shea is a little bit slight, but he's jacked as hell, man, and he's big.
He is. And he plays physical. He's the one initiating contact in majority of like his plays.
Mixel Qual says, how would you feel if the Pacers take Nembhard with their 38th pick and he becomes great? I mean, you can't just choose brothers we just did the McDaniels corollary. There's the Cody and J-Dub corollary. I mean, it's just, apparently the draft is starting. Trey.
Okay.
Okay, wait. So you talked about Queen. I'm going to go on League Pass. And see if I can pull this up. But while I do that, do you want to tell me about tell me what you think about Carter Bryant? There's some new people in here.
Yeah. I'm a big Carter Bryant fan. I don't think as big as you, obviously. But with Bryant, you're getting a rare archetype. You don't usually have players that have movement skills of wings that also have the requisite size and strength to play the four. One of the reasons why the Thunder have so much scheme versatility, so much lineup versatility, is that J-Dub can play essentially 2 to 4 and guard multiple players across an entire lineup. Carter Bryant shows that he can do that, although limited minutes. And then that's also coupled with like great shooting mechanics and a good shot profile. And if you're able to do that while also being this big time athlete at a 38-inch vertical, he finishes everything at the rim. He gets a lot of dunks. I don't like throwing the name out, but it fits sort of the archetype of like a Raptor who played for a really long time here. Was super impactful. He's on a great playoff team. Now, you need guys that can guard these like bigger wings that can take physicality and help you blow up actions across the entire court. So the Raptors struggle to have any guy that really fits that mold. They have a lot of guys who are really skinny between that like 6'4", 6'6" range. They asked Ochai Agbaji to kind of take that mantle on a lot of times when Scotty is playing on the weak side. But Carter Bryant, he would fit and I think help immediately, just in the sense that he's going to be able to guard some of the best players on the court. And it's, even if he doesn't hit a higher threshold of being an all-star, you're getting a high-level starter you can throw in any lineup.
Okay, thank you. I found it. We have the stream going, the League Pass stream. Thank you, NBA League Pass. And I'm glad you had like 3 minutes on Carter Bryant in your bag. Thank you for that. Regarding trades, I guess there were trades. We haven't talked about it. And these, the streams, I'm doing one tonight and one tomorrow. What is there? Have you found either interesting? Is there a trade like we talked about Desmond Bane, but I guess other players have the trades captured you at all?
I hate this time of year. I don't know if there's anything like Anthony Simons, Drew Holiday trade is interesting in the sense like I didn't think Portland thought that they were gonna compete next year, which is super interesting. You add that here, and then you have Tamani Kamara, Denny Avdia, Donovan Clayton. Like if they're a top 10 defense next year, I wouldn't be like super shocked. And like Anthony Simons,
what if they're top 5? I think they could be top 5.
I'm not shocked. I wouldn't be shocked with that either, to be honest. They have tons of defensive talent. And if you pair that with like a Scoot Leap, you're in a situation similar to Detroit last year, where you're surprising tons of teams. You have an all-star guard paired with tons of veterans that can contribute, make good plays. So I see the vision of Portland. The West is super tough, but I like teams going for it and not sitting in this like constant dread of trending in the play-in. And like Anthony Simons is a player that I like. He's in a system where if his pull-up jumper pops off, like he could average big numbers, and he has a really big opportunity to play well, and then also potentially he's a free agent this year. Like earn significant money if he seizes the actual opportunity. So I think that was the most interesting one.
It's really, I liked it for Portland a lot because I'm not a huge Anthony Simons guy, honestly. Like he
The defense
definitely
was rough.
he does stuff and he can go get you a bucket that's meaningful. He can run a lot of like the baseline actions that a guard has to run at the NBA level, which is important. You know, as we saw with RJ this past year, just having a guy who can run you through those actions means a lot to an NBA team, especially you have to walk out there for 82 games. The ball has to go to somebody. I do wonder what like the end goal is there with Simons, but as you said, like this is his platform.
Nabil said, we said breaking
Breaking
non-NBA
news.
news.
I have no idea. Denis Villeneuve. Oh, he shouldn't be
Yeah.
wasting his time on Bonds, man.
You respect the Bond franchise.
Why?
It's a Jamaican treasure.
How?
What do you mean it was written?
How?
He wrote the books in Jamaica.
How am I supposed to know where he wrote the damn books? That is so funny. Is this like every like Jamaican is like Bond was written here?
I think it's just me, to be honest. But
okay.
It's a Jamaican treasure now.
You latched on to Bond probably because of how he treats women or what? Okay, these jokes. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I do. Okay, so Denis Villeneuve, everything he does is great. Bond, I hope, is really great. I had no idea he wrote it while he was in Jamaica. So what, Sir Conan Arthur Doyle, or who wrote Bond?
Ian Fleming.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's Sherlock is the Conan Doyle, right? Ian Fleming. All right. Maybe this is a Rashir Fleming thing. Okay. the pick is in. I think we're about to get Cooper Flag at 1.
It's Dallas. You never know, to be honest.
Well, I mean, what would be the most surprising if they like ace at 1 is pretty Con Knipple would be hilarious, all that kind of stuff. But obviously, I mean, it's going to be Cooper Flag.
Yeah, of course.
What do you think happens with Dallas in this next year? Playoff team, what's the move?
I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think defensively, they're just going to be nuts. Cooper, AD, Lively is just insane length and athleticism, 3 to 5. I wonder. I think what's going to happen is that Cooper is going to probably be better than they expected, and they really build around his timeline and not this like short non-Luka Doncic timeline that they kind of had, and like make pivots from there and not be as aggressive in the next 2 to 3 years.
I do wonder because didn't Kyrie, he just said he's going to re-sign for whatever. AD is obviously there for a little bit. I do wonder what happens with that team. And Lively, I really wonder how things go sans Luka like into the future, because Lively is like there was limitations offensively that he never really had to address or try and climb over because it was just playing that lob threat. And he got to shine defensively. Now the growth has to come. And, so Cooper Flag got picked first.
Yeah.
There it is. He's buttoning up his suit. We'll see what happens with that team. But I would think at first blush, they can make a playoff. They can be in the playoffs. There's a lot of good players on that team now. And I think Cooper Flag will be one of those rare rookies who is actually able to provide positive impact in year 1 to a playoff team. That's kind of where I'm at.
I agree. Like they're another team. Like I'd be pretty surprised if they're not a top 10 defense. If you pair AD and Lively together, they should be one of the best in terms of deterring teams from the rim. And like Cooper, also they'll probably lose him as like the linchpin of the defense and allow him to be sort of a free safety in some sense. And I think his defense is high level enough for like him to make an impact kind of immediately. Kyrie
Go ahead.
Kyrie not being there probably till the end of the season is tough though. Their offense it's going to be hard in terms of organizing that and also overall shooting with that starting 5.
Yeah. if the, Josh has said before that he sees similarities between Cooper and Brandon Ingram in their offensive process and skills. So if Cooper makes that jump kind of early, then it helps, organize and sort out a lot of things. But I do wonder for that team immediately. The thought is like, as you said, Lively and AD is a hell of a situation in the front court. But I do wonder, it's like who's guarding guards, who's organizing offense, what does that look
Yeah.
like? It is a funky team. Yeah, we'll see. They probably should have picked VJ Edgecombe at 1, if they wanted to do it right. Matt Guyers says Guyers says Shams not even tweeting the picks.
Wow.
Can I tell you a funny Shams story from the finals? So we're all sitting sideline and just talking to various front office members, et cetera, et cetera. Everyone sits there and holds court, and this kid yells from the the stands. He's like, Shams, Shams. And Shams turns to him like this. He's like, can I get a picture? And Shams goes like this. Just it is so funny, man. I keep seeing him in all these different places, and it's so funny because it's just like with S,
Yeah.
It's you look at S and you don't break eye contact, and he looks at you the whole time, and he's fired off 3 tweets. Every time we hang out,
that's a fact.
S has somehow written 8 tweets in a matter of 10 minutes, and like, when did you do this? You and I, we're locked in this conversation just like this.
Yeah.
And oh man, Sev says, have you spoken to Shams before? Is he nice? I've spoken to Shams. Everyone is nice if you just talk to them quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm not willing to go to bat for Shams as like to label him as good guy, because he just.
It was interesting. Like when we went to Summary, like he's like a legitimate celebrity. Like I thought it would just like stay and like he's the guy that like tweets stuff, but like people are lining up to take picture with him as he's locked in on his phone, probably thinking of the next trade that's gonna happen in 60 days from now. But like I don't think like even like 10, 15 years ago, people would care about like who's the person that's breaking the news this much. It's crazy.
Yeah, and why would you? I still don't understand why. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I've met all those guys, and granted, it was once I was in the industry, but it's like whatever. Like when people meet me, like when I was in Indiana, and everyone's like, "Oh, hey," like it's not like I'm a celebrity. It's not like, "Oh," it's like, "Oh, I like nice to meet you. I like your work." But Shams doesn't have work. He just is. I have secrets to tell, and anyway. This is a draft podcast where we're just now
shitting on Shams.
Anyway, he was perfectly nice when I talked to him, and if you asked him if he's talked to me, he'd be like, I don't know who the hell that is, like 100%. So yeah, all right. The pick is in from San Antonio. Jay Billis says number 2 is we're looking at Harper Jr. Are you agreed with that? Has VJ jumped into top 2 for you?
No.
VJ's my 2.
Jeez, that's crazy. It's a weird situation with like in San Antonio. Like if you told them like 6 months ago that they were going to jump up in the lottery, they probably don't trade for De'Aaron Fox. And now they have like a glut of like awesome point guard prospects, and like De'Aaron Fox is an all-star guard. So like I don't know how that like trio kind of pans out. I think it's probably just like survival of the fittest. And when they feel Wemby's ready to be paired with like a big star, they'll probably use 1 or maybe 2 of those 3 to get the guy.
Apparently Cooper Flagg is wearing number 32. Is that meaning that's kind of gross?
Yeah, it's funky. It is kind of funky for his game. I guess he's a pig.
Yeah. But anyway, so De'Aaron Fox, do you think if he were to not like he's going to make an all-star team next to Wemby probably.
Yeah.
But do you think he would have been done making all-star teams in likelihood if he didn't get traded to San Antonio? It's tough.
The West is insane. Especially like in Sacramento, like how honestly how tough like Sacramento they finally make a trade. They make it to the playoffs. Like, good for San Antonio to finally make a push and like go for it. And then the guy that they trade makes the NBA Finals. Just like absolutely brutal. Like, and Sabonis is an all-star player. He's been great since he's been there. Just like super unlucky. I never thought that Tyrese Halliburton would be better than De'Aaron Fox. Like, what were the odds of that?
Yeah. Well, there's another guy who got traded and made the NBA Finals and was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, man. Oh, the second pick is in. It is Dylan Harper. And I don't know if my League Pass stream is behind, or I don't know if you guys in the chat are a little bit ahead or looking at tweets, but regardless, apparently Jacob deGrom is pitching a perfect game through 6.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Yeah, if I were the San Antonio Spurs, if I were in their shoes just today, I would have selected VJ Edgecombe. I would have searched for a trade, but I would have selected VJ Edgecombe. I really like VJ Edgecombe.
Me too. Yeah.
Sandy asked, "We're nervous. How you feeling? Are you?"
I've had my mental health be affected by this team like so many times. Or like, I'm just chilling. I've had the worst tons of times, so like I'm gonna be fine.
This is a lot better than watching the play-in game against the Bulls.
Oh my!
You know what I mean? That was like, because you could feel it, and it's been reported out afterwards with the Raptors that this was a team where things weighed heavily, Yeah. And this was a team where things weighed heavily, and if they didn't make it there, they traded for Jakob, they went in, looming free agents, and then they lost that one.
I remember I screamed at the top of my lungs at Jack Astor's. We traded a first-round pick for this. It was insane. That like I was on the GO train that day, and you could see the grief in people's faces. Like they went on this run. It was kind of Mickey Mouse, to be honest, the run that they went towards the end of the season. But
let's not do that. It was earned.
They won games. That is fair. And then Fred VanVleet can't score over Nikola Vucevic for two quarters.
That was, as I was watching, there was a difference in Tyrese in this playoffs and last playoffs. Like playoffs covering the Pacers as they made that charge to the ECF, was watching a lot of games kind of buckle offensively because Tyrese couldn't beat the big switch. And he figured it out. Fred never did, man. Fred, watching the offense, which was humming. I think Pascal finished with like 33 in that game. I know he missed a couple of free throws late, but I think he had a great game. And watching it slow down to Fred tweening on Vooch and getting nowhere was just like, oh God, please no. And then, as it was always meant to be. Any thoughts on Dylan Harper for the listeners? Also, Josh is obviously making reference to Dylan being Filipino, of course. Big shout out to the Philippines. This is a moment. Are you going to stake your claim right now then?
I have to see 2 more years of play before I align him with me, to be honest. Me and Josh, we have a little draft of the half Filipinos, half black people. And like her is a spectacular artist, so like I need her on my side. Dylan Harper, I think is like one of the better driving guards in the last few years. Like his pace and his like control in the lane is like second to none. Like he gets to the paint at will. And one of the really good things of like watching the Rutgers tape, and this goes for Ace Bailey too, defenses loaded up on him in ways that like if he hits a star playing in the NBA, he'll see those type of defenses also. And no matter if they picked him up high, if they trapped him, he was able to figure out and navigate and work his way to getting to the middle of the rim, middle of the floor, and score and play make for others. Like the shooting, I think, is questionable, so I don't put him in the same tier as Cooper. Cooper's like a surefire future star, but like Dylan Harper is someone that he could be a multi-time All-Star.
Did Kevin O'Connor's like means testing of his jumper, did that move you at all when he's like, what 23% didn't do this? Like, did that matter to you?
Not really, to be honest. Like his catch and shoot numbers are perfectly fine, to be honest.
I'll tell you right now, it'd show up poorly on the Noah board that you love so much.
I think like the Noah board is like one of the like after the Science Center, it's like one of the greatest scientific contributions to random history.
in Saskatchewan, there is a science center as well. It's in Regina and has this giant IMAX theater. And it's pretty mid outside of that, but you can see great IMAX movies there. And it also there's nothing like a science center as a kid, you know? It's like when science was just it is kind of like an abstract term.
Yeah.
Or it's like things fit into this, but as a kid, you're just like, it's science, man. You kind of have like the Jesse Pinkman understand. Yo, science. You know, like that's your understanding of it.
Oh.
Hell yeah, man.
It's a Hall of Fame school trip. You go, you touch the little ball, your hair jumps up, you're like, whoa, and you're having the best time. You see a little dinosaur exhibit.
Okay, forgive my ignorance.
Please go ahead.
You know what I'm gonna ask. What did that look like for you?
See, like, I don't think it had the best visual, but like you could feel,
yeah, okay, yeah.
You can feel your hair rising.
There's no other draft podcast that is giving you this, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man. We're like 35 seconds away. Yeah, Brandon says Samson, please. I'm learning, Brandon. I'm learning. I don't mean to be so but yeah, I mean, hell yeah, dude. Well, okay, I guess I'm behind. Apparently the Philly pick is in. But are you hoping before it gets announced for us, like they're showing VJ smiling right now, or do you think that's the best decision for the 76ers?
Yeah, I think it's best player available and also best fit, which is like perfect situation. Like you want someone like VJ Edgecombe fits the like the modern two guard of like what you want in a playoff series. A guy that can deal with physicality, defend up with his strength. Like he has lineup versatility as well, and then have the athleticism to put the ball on the floor and make plays from there, and also shoot the three. Like he fits that to a T. With like higher up tier athleticism that pops on defense. If he doesn't become Victor Oladipo and he becomes Derek White with his athleticism, he's going to be, in terms of like value, like one of the 30 most valuable players in the league. There's star players that have made multiple all-star teams that teams would probably trade for Derek White because of his impact and how valuable he is.
Yep. That was probably the thing that stood out to me the most because obviously there's a bunch of things that are good about his game. But the thing that was sneaky, really incredible was how quickly he made decisions as a passer and how quickly he was able to catch, create advantage and move the ball on. And just that's so healthy for an offense. And especially if you can also score off the bounce, shoot to create spacing and defend on the other side. I mean, that's not even taking into account like the upper stratosphere of his offensive upside, which could go, conceivably pretty high. By the way, Taco and Nacho Battle Channel asked how Caitlin is doing because it was rough, man, definitely. Yeah. But we just did our final mailbag today, and she was doing good. We had a good podcast, a good chat. VJ Edgecombe gets picked. There we go. What does this mean for the greater Jamaican Islands?
It's just one more recruit for 2028, baby.
They're waving the flag on the broadcast right now.
Oh, that's fire. That is fire. Like he's just a perfect fit. Like he takes like he takes so much off of Maxi's play, especially like defensively. And they could still like run things through Joel, and with the advantages that Joel creates, like Maxi and VJ are gonna eat up every defend.
They're good. Let's go. They're gonna fit really well together. Yeah. I'm actually, because I really like Tyrese Maxey, and I really was wondering what like the fit looks like for him going forward. Because I loved how he played next to James Harden and things were pretty simple for him, but then his role changed so radically. I think that he, like Maxey, McCain, and Edgecombe, is an awesome trio to work with going forward. I'm envious of that because, while I do like some of the guards in the Raptors backcourt, the 76ers have such a strong place to build from there. Man. Phoenix says Shams being contracted by ESPN not to tweet anything is objectively hilarious. Is that real? Also, Nabil, I missed this because I did request your help. You said the Bulls and the Thunder are looking to move up. Does that mean anything to you, Trey? For Raptors?
We're still so early. Like, I would have to see the board to make sure like it makes sense. The trade down, like, I think makes the most sense is like if you can finagle Cam Johnson with some of these Brooklyn picks, and that allows you to move up the board some way, somehow, and probably still get your guy at like 12 or 13, to be honest. Because like Cam within like the Raptors lineup makes perfect sense. Add size, add length, add defense, and he's like a big time shooter. So it would space the floor for everybody involved and like fits the team both long term and short. So it'd be a perfect fit.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. I don't know what's going to happen with this Raptors pick. This was one of the things, like, sometimes I can get close and I can hear some things, but I was really busy with finals coverage this year with the Pacers. I feel like I know more about what the Pacers would want to do. I guess they just traded back into the second round than I do about, the Raptors. We've had whispers, we've had all that stuff, but man, Nabil said, we're claiming sources in the chat. Let's go. OG3 says Chicago reportedly willing to trade Lonzo or Kobe White. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Kobe, I know when he was projecting out like a Raptors Chicago trade around Kobe White and Pat Williams and RJ Barrett, I think it was.
Yeah.
And now the proposed trade by whoever the hell else, everyone's proposing trades, building trades. Everyone was pissed that asked for that. I was like, yeah, that probably means it's an okay trade because both fan bases would hate it. And Raptors fans hated it, man. Donkey says, if you trade down to 12, how much would you want? Is the 2026 lotto protected Portland pick enough? Trade is with the Bulls. This is the good thing about the chat is that they are a living, breathing information source. Like, do I know what the Bulls pick situation is? No shot. How do you feel about that? Like, it's up to you, I guess.
I still have a hard time seeing Portland make the playoffs, to be honest. I like that pick converting. So, and the Raptors, you want immediate players. Like, I think the trade down has to involve around a contributor that adds to the rotation like immediately, to be honest. And like the Bulls, like Lonzo, I guess kind of makes sense and while the Raptors play. But like obviously there's injury questions. But I loved Lonzo for a long time. And like Kobe White, the fit with IQ is like questionable also. And then you have to extend him too. And the Raptors are one of the teams that are working towards, are really close to the tax. So like it doesn't make sense overall. Like I think if there's a player that you would probably like want to take on Patrick Williams' contract in order to get like multiple picks, and then that makes sense to have ammo to trade further down the road.
Trey Johnson said, or Cody says Trey Johnson's odds shot up from plus 2,300 to plus 500 to be the 9th pick for what it's worth. Well, doesn't that just mean people are betting?
Yes and no. Like,
okay, well, yes, teach me something. I actually don't know how this works.
So yeah, like betting lines change with how much people are betting towards a certain number as well. But new like intel will also change like the overall numbers. So like there was a report that the Pels love Derek Queen at 7. His number shoots up immediately, just to make sure that they are able to like get the correct odds before people bet on them.
So, and I'm just gonna is it like more or less likely that this is not a wave of people, or like does it have to be insider info? I feel like I've seen in this speculative markets that sometimes it's just nothing. Like the Raptors have been at the top of the odds for a million things that haven't happened. So it makes me, I'm leery of believing like in a betting market is going to tell me X or Y. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's totally fair. Like the Raptors, like multiple times have been like the leading odds to get Kevin Durant. We haven't got Kevin Durant either time. So
Yeah, so true. No Kevin Durant on this team. Nabil says if it's a big sports book generally, then it's probably more serious bettors. But who ultimately knows? Gambling, then. Betting odds. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Interesting. We have your mistress team. They have 3 picks,
I have no
33 and
idea.
34 in the second round, and they have number 4. The pick is in for Charlotte.
I'm gonna
Looks
guess
like
it's Con Knippel.
they're building, if it's Con,
I'm
they're building a funky team down there, man.
yeah.
Oh, is it Con Knippel? The chat is just now reacting. Number
No, is it?
4. Whoever told us the big areola. I don't know what that's in reference to.
Wow.
That's funny. Oh, nipple. Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm so stupid. Anyway, that's a great nickname, the big areola. Who, when we were doing the lottery or whatever with S Live, and somebody told us Con was going 5, we said, "Oh, I don't know about that. We're jackasses." That guy was right. Whoa. Good for you, Con. How do you feel about that for your mistress team?
They were in a weird spot. There wasn't anyone like I absolutely loved. I thought BJ was gonna fall to them initially, and Ace would have won third. Like Knippel and like LaMelo makes sense. Like obviously, like offensively, because it's tons of pull up shooting, tons of shooting around the court. But like defensively, and I know like Khan has shown he can be like somewhat of a good team defender, but I don't think he's gonna be able to guard other guards in the NBA. Like you're gonna have to hope he utilizes like his strength and like being and like team positioning to like guard some other wings on the court. It's like they haven't addressed like some of their biggest issues overall, but they could. I wouldn't be shocked if LaMelo gets traded this summer. Also, to be honest,
Bobby Marks has listed a defensive-minded guard as something that the Hornets need.
yeah.
And OG3 says Utah got their fundamental white sniper from them. Yeah, or sniped from them. Utah, I'm really interested because we've made Utah a punching bag, the two of us. We make a lot of jokes at their expense. And they've been drafting guards for years and just going, what the hell do we do here, man? Like, I do wonder.
Yeah, they're in a weird pick too. Like Trey Johnson is the best player available there, in my opinion. But like they've drafted so many.
Hasn't gone.
Yeah,
I don't want him to go to Utah.
They've drafted so many of those movement shooter guys in the last few years that like, do they invest again? None of those guys have hit though, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I don't want Trey going to Utah. That's not great.
That's
I don't like that much. I want guys like Jordan Hawkins to go to Utah. That's because like then they'll get Nabil as a viewer at the very least. You know, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not chalk. Things are changing. Do you have a prediction? Is it probably Trey at 5 then, or?
Oh, they could actually. Malowitz could go 5 if they trade him to if they trade Walker Kessler to LA. There's been rumors there. I would just pick Trey. I'm gonna say Trey goes 5.
Trey. Nabil says, I told you guys it wouldn't be chalk. Respect me. It's never chalk, though. It's just this is but I understand what you mean, Nabil. I wonder, Nabil, if Jameer Watkins gets picked at 39, you're hopping on with me, brother. You got no choice. And also, okay, if the Raptors get Rasheer Fleming, Jameer Watkins, actually put your guys in chat that if they get picked, you hop on the stream with us. That's what I need you to do, Nabil. But man, Utah, probably Trey. And Trey would make sense, right? Like I'm thinking they've had the Jordan Clarkson experience for some time. They're probably, that's going the way of the dodo. They have Collier, they have Sexton, they have Keontae George, but none of those guys are remotely close to being Trey Johnson as far as like what he provides. Trey Johnson's just so damn slick.
Mm-hmm. And his shooting is big time. He does it from every shooting slot possible. Like it does not matter how he gets his shot off. He can shoot it, and he shoots it at a crazy clip. So you aren't even like theorizing if he's going to be a good shooter. And like you see guys like Aaron Nesmith, like you don't need to have tons of like multiple skills on top. If you can really shoot the ball, like Aaron Nesmith, he's one of those guys where when he even comes off a movement, you put your head down like, fuck me, this guy cut the ball. I did that so many times in the series because movement shooting like creates so much chaos for defenses.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that's kind of the Grady, like he shot 46% on his spot up threes this past season. And it's like, okay, so he can shoot it. He will shoot it.
Yeah.
That's correct. He will shoot it. His defense is lagging behind. And we need a wider variety of shooting. And I think Trey is probably a better shooting prospect coming out of the draft than Grady was. Also, Simon says, Samson, can we get a reaction to Denis Villeneuve directing the next James Bond movie? It happened. Trey and I did like 3 minutes on it. Yeah. Raps VE says, I know the vast majority of Jazz fans would riot if they passed on Trey. Obviously, fan opinion doesn't equal the opinions of the front office, though. Yeah, I mean, the Raptors fans rioted. Well, not riot. That's a bit heavy. But Raptors fans were like, oh, what the hell? When Scottie got picked. Yeah. And obviously, he's a better player than Jalen Suggs. So that's meaningful. Also, Scottie has a much better awareness of his hairline situation than Jalen Suggs does. I don't know what, like Jalen, come home, brother. Keep it nice and tight. Keep it clean. I don't know what he's doing, man. He's just waiting too long.
Yeah, it's aggressive. He's aggressively bald because it's in so many different patches, not even just like one area.
Yeah. So the Knipple family is Cash, Kager, Khan, Kinston, Kidman. There are 5 K names. Good thing they kept having kids.
Thank you for making it up.
No, that's real. That's real.
Oh,
wow.
God.
Yeah, damn. Cold Shores 13 says, is it a trend for centers to go later in the draft recently? I think, well, I've said this before. It's really tough to make a bet on. It's really tough to make a bet on a big, like, especially considering how many teams get good bigs later on. It's basically like the guy you're picking, you have to be so certain that that guy is a star. And sometimes teams get it right, and then you get your star big, and it becomes, a bit of a quagmire. Okay, how do we build this team out and all that kind of stuff? But also, yeah, apparently Ace went 5.
Oh, wow.
Boom!
They ruined this brother's life, man. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, man. They have to trade this pick, please.
Trey at 9 continues to veer closer.
Poor Ace. Jesus.
He looks absolutely shell-shocked, man.
Oh,
just like
man.
looking at the
poor kid. Oh,
damn. So, this is interesting, man. So Ace didn't fall. He goes 5. What do you think about Ace on that team? He makes sense on that team. He does.
He does make sense. I guess it doesn't really matter if he didn't want to go there or not, to be honest. He's gonna be there for at least 4 years minimum. So he's talented. Like, it fits the offense too. Like, another guy that can play off movement, and his defense also, I think, will be able to fit really well if they do keep Walker Kessler long term. So, like, and on the head, it makes sense. Well, this just means I will watch like 75% less of Ace Bailey's career the next 4 years.
Obviously Baker says Trey Johnson at 6, please. Is that, I guess, obviously you and I, we both really like Trey. Yeah. So if I was the Wizards, I'm taking Trey Johnson. That's easy for me, I think.
Yeah, that'd be super fun. Like him and Bub Carrington together, like tons of shooting, tons of guys who kind of can play like on and off the ball together, which is really cool. Now, like, they've added length, like with Sar and Bilal, and defense in that sort of sense, and now you're adding to that with skill players also. So I would, like, that's a no-brainer for me, to be honest. I don't think there's anyone else within Trey Johnson's tier.
If so, Nabil says Cody Williams, the dynasty starts after you. Yeah, man. Well, I think guys got fired apparently. There you go. Biggie 35 says, I'm scared Washington is going to take Mowatch at 6. If Mowatch goes at 6,
I'd be happy as hell.
I'd be so happy, man. I'd be like, yes, because then I'd love if Malwatch proves me wrong and is like an absolute stud of a center. But I'd love to see that happen in Washington. Wow. I guess we're getting closer. What's our Jay Billis big board right now?
I guess that's
so. You probably have Queen and Fears would be, and Trey, I guess. Trey, Queen, Fears.
Yeah, that would be the 3. Then who would be next? Where has Malwatch?
So the best player remaining in the draft for me is Trey Johnson. But after that, and I know you hate this, is Colin Murray-Boyles. Those are my top 2, of course. But you know what? Murray-Boyles probably not going to the Raptors, and I'm just going to be able to, watch his career with great interest from the outside. I hope he goes to the Thunder or something like that. That team would be a terror.
If he goes to the Thunder, then he becomes like he'll probably become like one of the most important like role players in the league because like he's a perfect fit next to Chet. If he doesn't shoot it, it won't be that big of a deal. And like it's like a perfect situation. The Raptors are like a sticky one for him, but like he could start for them next season, to be honest, and Hartenstein can come off the bench.
AA says CMB on the Wizards would be nice. What do you think about him there? He fits pretty well, but they're probably not super sold. Like next to Sar is pretty interesting, actually. They complement each other quite nice.
I wouldn't have a problem.
Queen and Sar.
Yeah, that was the first spot I would consider Queen at, in terms of like overall fit. I think like 6 and 9 for him are best landing spots because you're beside true centers that can play really well, or if they do think he could play a center like Sar can operate as a floor spacer as a 4. Scotty defensively would help with Queen overall, and like system wise, the Raptors play in a way that like helps with all of his skills, his entire skill set.
I tell you what, man, if Trey doesn't go with 7, I'm losing it. If he doesn't go before 7, if he's sitting there at 8, ooh,
or cooking,
man. So, geez, this is interesting, man. This is not going. This is much different than ours went. Because 6 was you took in our mock draft. You took Queen at 6, going home to Maryland, man. Also, Phoenix Plays E says Ace trying to force his way to Washington is hilarious. It is kind of. I haven't heard of that one before. Forcing your way to Washington. What do you think about that? Let's take this as an opportunity. Young men are getting their well-deserved payment out of the value they bring at the college level and entering the NBA market with far more leverage. Ace Bailey trying to end failing at least tonight, but trying. What do you make of the leverage?
Like with NIL, like you can sacrifice money. So I think like if he doesn't want to play for a team, that's totally fine. Like the NBA teams like have like the power to pick him if he doesn't want to. But you saw a similar situation. Alex Sarr didn't want to go to Atlanta. He wanted a better situation. Like Washington for what he wants. Yeah, what Washington would for what Ace Bailey wants for his career, like Brooklyn, and I know the Pelicans were also another spot, will allow him to get tons of on-ball touches and like grow into the star that he wants to be. Like Utah's that same opportunity too, but it's also in Utah, so it's tough.
That's you talk to NBA players, like off the record, and that's when you realize how much where they play matters. God, do they care about the city they play in? And why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Like you and I have talked privately about like something else where it's like, I would never move there. I don't want to live there. You know what I mean? And that's just me. Oh, man. Top Shot Tesla donates $5, says trying to avoid spoilers, so not in chat. Remember to like, how we feeling so far? Any final calls the way the Raptors go based on what you've seen? Thank you for the $5 first and foremost. Good to not be in chat if you don't want spoilers. Yes, and remember to like the video. It helps promote to other people. I haven't seen anything that tells me like, here's the thing. I heard a couple weeks ago or a month ago, I said on the podcast, I was like, I heard that the Raptors liked Fears. So but that was a month ago, and I've been covering a final series since then. I have not been able to keep tabs on anything. So if Fears went past the Raptors, I'd be surprised. But I really haven't heard much else. I heard they also like Kasparis, but I mean, who knows? And the Raptors also, there's a bunch of rumors saying that they might move off of this thing. So I guess we'll see, man. But it could go a lot of different ways.
Yeah. Look, it looks like just how the board is shaking. I'm assuming Trey Johnson goes now, but like someone like Fierce could slide. Someone like Fierce, Queen, like they're at
Well,
9.
that's
Like the
what they
board,
said about Queen, right? That he could all the way down.
yeah. So like the board is shaking out pretty well for the Raptors because Concanippo went super high. Oh yeah, Trey Johnson got picked.
Trey Johnson.
Yeah, but our friend Baker's probably losing it right now.
Oh man, they got something cooking.
They do.
They have something cooking over there. That is certainly interesting. So their lineup is Bub Carrington, Trey Johnson, Bilal Coulibaly, Alex Sarr, and after Gafford went, who started taking up residence in their front court next to Sarr?
Who's their big? They had Jonas, but they traded him at the deadline.
Yeah.
Who's their big now? I can tell you.
Yeah, it was Gafford and then Jonas. They probably played Sarr at the 5 and then went small a bunch, right? Like Keyshawn George probably got minutes. He was actually playing a lot. Yeah, I talked to Bryant. God, I don't remember their coach's name. He was really nice though. It's ridiculous.
No, they told us Rashawn Holmes. Forgot he was even in the league.
Rashawn.
Man.
That was crazy, right? Like the Rashawn Holmes of it all. Man, that was one of my favorite pieces I ever wrote for A Minute Basketball was because I was writing my piece about Rashawn Holmes, and Lewis and I would write these metaphorical takes on basketball. And then the former governor of Jalisco, this was when I was living in Mexico, got assassinated like right down the street from me. And it was the cartel assassination. And then he got shot in the bathroom and they tried to smuggle him out. And when he got out, there was a firefight between the cartel and his bodyguards. And I just see the muzzle flashes. And then there was the cars like getting out of the way. I was like, oh my God, what is going on? It was insane. Oh, it was so insane. That's one of the craziest things.
I think Washington could be like sneaky, like competitive because they have like a lot of vets who like they have Marcus Smart, they got CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton. Like those guys will win regular season minutes, like similar to like the Raptors where they had like Kelly Davion just like mess around and win more minutes than the Raptors expected. They know how to play.
The Nets are a good reference point for this too, because the Nets last year were winning more games than people thought. It's just they had veterans. Yeah. Gregory Tomney says, just tuned in. What was the take that almost got Samson assassinated? No, I was living right by where the former governor of Jalisco got assassinated. It was insane when I lived in Mexico. I have a piece about it way back in the day. Man, that was Tim Waring. Oh, we'll eat some time with this. Trey says, I don't understand the love for Queen. A big man who isn't a good defender isn't going to help you become a contender.
The Raptors won 30 games last season. The Raptors had 82 games, and then they lost 52 of them. You need guys that have upper tier skills, and like Derek Queen is like a guy in terms of like advantage creation, like outside of like Harper and Flag. I think he's the best at it. He drives at a really high clip. He's a great processor and passer, and his overall touch indicators are good. And if he can shoot the ball, I think he's going to be one of the what happened?
Okay, so Nabil just said something. It's nothing definitive. Says I'm guessing Corey Kispert probably on the move with his Trey pick. That's actually because I suggested Corey Kispert in my video. Corey Kispert is a better defender than people think. He's better off the bounce than people think, and he's just as good a shooter as people think. And he's on a great contract. Food for thought. Just saying. Anyway, Derek Queen.
But yeah, and defensively, he wasn't good. He wasn't good in college. but I think that there's flashes of him showing his movement skills. A guy that can drive like him like has to have good movement skills, and defensively when he's out and on the perimeter and switching, that's where he's shined the best. And then also he has great hands, and that allows you to get away with stuff defensively. I think a really good example is how the Rockets build around Alfred Sengun. Sengun isn't the greatest defender in the world, but because of their commitment to that and having those athletic, rangy guys that can play around him, they still had a top 10 defense, and their defense was still great in the playoffs. So his offense just has to be warrant that level of like commitment and attention. I think it could be.
I'll also say Miles Turner is far worse at defense than people think. The Pacers have protected him a lot. You can do a lot, like a lot of stuff on defense to protect a big man. Especially if you're willing to be like do interesting things as far as like switching and pre-switching and all that kind of stuff, and especially like digging in on drives. Queen, if Queen is as good offensively as Trey believes, which the pitch there, I'm not all the way, but I see where you're coming from. Then, of course, there's going to be stuff you can do defensively. There's like, obviously, we just saw a team that had a historic defense win, but the Pacers were a team that they had a lot of defensive struggles, and they addressed a lot of those struggles through scheme. And you can definitely, if Queen is awesome on offense, you can do stuff defensively. And like Tim Waring says, Miles Turner is a shot blocker. I mean, you can block shots, but you can still get killed on it. Like I covered that team. Caitlin and I covered that team more in depth than anybody can even sniff at. And Miles, like, yeah, he can block shots, but he can get cooked like hell. And also, he had twice as many turnovers in the finals as he did have 3-pointers made. And it was just like, bigs doing things helps a lot. And if you have a big who can do a lot of stuff like Queen, now I'm making the pitch, god damn it. If you have a big who can do stuff like Queen, it allows you to supplement with a different type of player elsewhere who might be able to cover for certain defenses. You just gotta get good. This is Trey's point. There's 30 wins. You gotta get good guys on the roster, man. I don't think Queen is what limits a team going forward. It's just all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
The word championship, the word contender shouldn't come out of our mouths until we win 40 games. Can we win more games than we lose?
Yeah. Well, also, Phoenix Blaze says Queen is a ceiling capper as a player in the same way Domas is. Then trade him for Tyrese Halliburton. And if he's a ceiling capper the same way DeMar was, then trade him for Kawhi Leonard. You just need good players. Yeah. Like that, good guys on, and then make it, make things shake. The Pacers just went to the finals despite basically never re-signing their own pick.
Jeremiah Fears went to the Pelicans.
That was our pick in the mock draft, so I'm glad. Yeah.
Pain.
Mixed Qual says we're not picking a player who's going to win us a championship by themselves at pick 9. That's correct. I think you just I understand why people have, and of course Tim saying there are better options than Queen. I agree with that. I do think there are better.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
But I don't think you draft from who's going to limit the champion. That's so tough because that would mean picking a perfect player at 9, which good luck. I'd love for them to do it, but yeah. So who is available right now? Fears just went. Trey just went.
Yeah.
Queen is available.
Yes.
Oh man. How are you gonna feel if Queen goes by at 9, man? 2 ships sailing in the night, you and Derek Queen.
Man, doomsday for me. Especially if he goes to another team and is really good. I'd much rather stake my claim the Raptors take him and he's not good. I'm like, you know what, Tim? My bad. I got it wrong. You're smarter than me.
It always hurts. It always hurts to be wrong about a guy you're high on. It never hurts bad to be wrong about a guy you're low on. You know what I mean? It's like if a guy's awesome, you're just like, man. Apparently, Nabil says Mount. Oh, you're not okay.
This is predict. Just predict. But I think that's going to be the pick. Malawatch makes sense.
Yeah. But at the end of it, I do think the biggest point is as Tim says, you need the right type of players. It's true But you can trade and you can supplement and you can go through free agency, but you do need to stack talent and good players on your team. You do need to see your players play with certain types of guys, and you discover all, what a player's weaknesses is, what their strengths are, all this kind of stuff. And the Raptors traded their way into a championship the same way that they drafted their way into one.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, you assemble, like the Pacers, another example. You acquire good players, and then you once you assess the strengths, you then shift players around to like build around that and build around your star and your team. Like the Raptors, they realized they needed a better big than Jonas that could help defensively. They traded for Marc Gasol, but Jonas Valanciunas was great for the Raptors for several years and was good enough to get traded for that player. You need players that other teams are going to want.
Tim, who's
Fair
been
enough.
right. No. This is a good joke because Tim has been a Raptors Republic contributor for a long time. Says, I've never been wrong about a guy I'm high on. Those who know will understand the joke. To add to what he's saying, Tim was way back in the day a huge tank for Wiggins guy. And like that was, and like how, you become famous for a take.
Mm-hmm.
Tim was like tank for Wiggins, and when he showed up and wrote a piece like later on, everybody was like, "It's him, get him!" And he was just, we're all just talking hoops. S is here.
Wow.
Oh man,
big media.
What's going on, man?
What up, big dog? How you guys feeling? Do you guys have any guesses? Any hints?
Masai has to do the right thing and take Derek, man. Please.
I really thought New Orleans was going to take Derek. You saw the little smoke screen of Troy Weaver is such a big fan of Derek.
No, we haven't seen any smoke screens. We're just like we're just hanging out, man. You have the stream up on your computer?
I have a stream, yeah, but my stream is absolutely delayed, so I have no idea what's going on.
Your League Pass stream, I assume?
They don't League Pass the draft.
So everyone knows I've been lying this whole time. Okay. Okay, well, wait. Okay, yeah. So anyway,
yeah.
You Jeremiah Fears is talking. That's a fun colored suit he's got on over there.
Yeah, he's got a cool little spot. Yeah.
All right.
Did you guys talk about Trey's suit, Trey Johnson?
No, we didn't.
We didn't.
It was he was wearing
the shorts and the Doc Martens. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. It's all very legal streams, correct? So here's what I'm wondering. Who's available right now? S, you've probably been having a wider breath. Trey and I have been talking about science centers and how different types of hair react to things. Who is left and who do you like for the Raptors?
Okay, who is left? Kamal Malawach, Colin Murray-Boyles, Derek Queen, Noah Senge, Carter Bryant. Obviously, the Nets are still on the clock, and they haven't decided yet, so we'll see what they – they have decided. Would you guys like me to spoil it?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nets select Yegor Demin.
Whoa!
Wow!
we got a sucker, buddy.
We're going to get dunked on so bad if he ends up being awesome.
He could be sick, but oh, my God. Yegor, wow.
So, Yegor – it's easy to see the upside, but when Trey and I were watching, I saw a lot of downside, but man.
What? Oh my God. So everybody, okay, look, every player we have wanted basically for the Raptors, at least, okay, from my perspective, then is available.
Yeah, the board shaked out great for them.
Except Fears, because Trey really liked Fears.
Yes,
yeah.
And now my intel that the Raptors loved Fears can never be questioned because he never reached them.
They probably have tons of calls right now for Malawach too, to be honest. Like a team like Atlanta, Malawach would be like the perfect fit for a side like Trey Young. So that makes sense. So like they're in a good position, like trade down. Either the Nets honestly have enough ammo to trade back at 9. To be honest,
I wonder. So the Raptors are on the clock.
I think.
Wonder. And Jay Billis says Colin Murray-Boyles is the best available. I tend to agree, Jay. I think it would be so funny if they picked CMB. The reaction between Trey and myself. Oh, that would be something.
I think they're going to trade down.
That
Yeah.
probably means they just didn't think Jaeger. Wow, man.
They didn't think he'd make it past a certain place.
Yeah.
Well, what was their other pick? So Brooklyn has...
They have 19? I want to
They
say
have 19, 22
26.
now. 26 and
Right,
27.
because they made it.
Yeah, they have 22, 26, and 27. So they
could,
have a lot of stuff they got to do.
Yeah, they could trade back up pretty easily.
Man. Okay, so everybody... So your favorite is Queen, Trey. My favorite would be CMB. Carter is a close second. Also, Nolan Traore we haven't talked about. I really like Nolan Traore as well.
So do I.
I like him better than Fears. S, who are you rooting for?
Yeah, I probably would go Carter 1. He sort of fills the OG Anunoby sized hole in my heart. I know he's not the same player. I know we don't like comps, but like I miss that type of archetype on the Raptors, like a wing 3-and-D type of guy. I think the Raptors desperately need a player like that who can be an impact defender eventually. So Carter is my guy. I would be very happy with Derek Queen too, though. Yeah. Yeah. Murray-Boyles, by the way, would not disappoint me. I wouldn't be like Trey. I feel like Trey is going to break down and cry if it's Colin Murray-Boyles.
I think he's good. He was 9th on my big board, to be honest.
Wow, so this is perfect value then for you.
Yeah.
Technically. But like it's just like you want someone that can, when you're picking at 9, you want to shoot high and hopefully have someone like it also be a starter on your team and also like have some sort of star trajectory. Like CMB is like star in his role type of guy. Plus, like I don't see a world he starts over Scotty. Or they. This is
also
together.
One of those things where it's like our projections and what we think of a player might be completely different than what the Raptors. I mean, probably is very different. So like they could see Colin Murray-Boyles and be like, "Yo, this guy has like all-star potential. Like we see him being this," and it's just something like you have to chalk it up to they know more. You know, that's the weird part about the draft where it's like, hey, Jaeger Demon goes at 8 and everybody was like, man, I do not see him going that high. But the Nets just believe in his upside. Damn.
Yeah.
Giovanni says that Senge has potential to be a number 1 option. That would shock me. That would shock me.
Not a big Senge crowd here between us 3, I imagine.
Well, right? You know what? But I think you could be very big on a Senge and not see him as a number 1 option. Number 1 also option is so difficult. You'd be an all NBA player. You could draft an all NBA player at number 9, and it would not be a number 1 option. Nahom says, if you're going to spoil, give us a warning so I can jump off for 10 seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I got you.
I think that's just for the Raptors pick. Okay, yeah.
Let me make sure
if anybody, here we are. Okay, so there's nothing. All right. I see Atlanta. People from Atlanta are really hoping for Mall Watch to fall to them.
Right.
And I can obviously see why. How many times are we going to see? How many tweets are we going to get if there's no leak for the Raptors pick of people be like, hell yeah, baby, the Raptors didn't leak.
Oh man.
We got how long does it say on your stream? Mine has 3 minutes and 12 seconds.
Oh, you're 40 seconds ahead of mine.
Okay.
I'm at 220. Right,
yeah, are you on cable? Is this a little cable?
I got 3 things going here. Got you know.
Trevon, answer the question.
Yes.
That's funny.
Oh my god.
These are the things that are important to the core of our friend group. Because you didn't want to answer if you had cable or not is so funny. So funny. Oh man.
Man.
I wonder who it's gonna be.
Man. So much stuff has gone into this right now. Oh man.
Are you guys nervous? Is anybody? I kind of don't care.
I don't know if I'm
like. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
just whoever they believe in, whatever.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's either Malawatch or trade, most likely.
Okay, so they're probably getting pretty close for you, Trey.
Yeah, this minute
He's the
15
mm,
for me.
Has not been leaked yet, by the way. Just
Oh.
if we're on leak watch, no.
Masai has 2 phones right now. He's dealing with the bidding war. Oh, someone says pick is in, so they're ahead of me.
pick is in from Biggie 35, man. And then also Garden Norm saying Samson breaking up with them before they can break up with him. Totally, dude. I'm just getting out ahead of
Getting
it.
ahead of it.
Oh man.
Oh god.
I guess we'll see.
Let me not look at the comments.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, we're getting close to spoilers.
I would say, yeah,
territory.
if you guys want to head out, don't head out. Mute maybe. Or
Just
yeah. Please don't leave. Like the stream, comment, and subscribe. Oh man. Okay, so
ooh, baby. I am nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the pick. It's in, folks.
the pick is in.
Pick is in.
Can I spoil it for you guys?
Okay, who's the pick?
The Toronto Raptors are selecting Colin Murray-Boyles.
Really?
You're lying.
Number 9.
Whoa! Let's go.
Let's go.
Really?
Wow. Okay.
This is my guy.
That's your guy.
I
You
did
got
a
your
full
guy.
film room on him. If anybody wants film of me breaking down Colin Murray-Boyles, I broke down his film. He's tremendous.
Let's go.
You guys talk. I have to tweet out the work.
Well,
Go ahead.
okay, Trey, how do you feel now that it's not Derek Queen, but it's Colin Murray-Boyles?
CMB is like in terms of value makes tons of sense there, and he has I think a high ceiling in terms of like being a high level starter. I think he's the best defensive player in the draft, even better than Cooper. I think he's a really good processor and passer, which makes sense within like the Raptors offense. I obviously have some questions on the size and like overall finishing and then like fit with Scotty. But like on the optimistic side, like one of the things that's really good with like having a guy like Scotty Barnes is like there isn't an essential spot that you need to have him necessarily on the court. Like he could be your long-term win, he could be your long-term big. And if the shooting pans out with either of those two, they will be able to play together. But defensively, those two together will wreck worlds.
Yeah.
They can switch any action. They can both guard the opposing big and the opposing guard. So like defensively, they've increased their talent level by a huge significantly.
Yeah, I mean, he's like an insane defender when you watch some of the stuff that he did in South Carolina. I'm like, I guess the questions I have are probably more related to clearly more related to the offensive side, the shooting, but also like he is an quote unquote undersized big. You know, I'm curious to see how he was an awesome finisher, good guy who can like work in that floater area. But like, I'm curious how that translates in the NBA against bigger dudes, bigger competition, guys who he might not be able to bully as often. Because he does the bully ball pretty frequently. I believe I saw something, and I saw this on Synergy too, but he had a ton of post-up possessions when he was in South Carolina. Is he going to be a post-up guy? I think the passing clearly is something the Raptors will enable and empower more with him at the high post area. That will allow him to do like the DHO keep and get downhill. That makes sense to me. But I like the pick, man. To be honest with you, I do.
He's good.
I like the pick. I will say I really did want Carter Bryant, but whatever. I'm also really excited to see where Carter goes because I think he's going to be awesome regardless. To be honest,
Clear out, baby.
Samson, how
it's
you feel,
isolation time. The reason why I thought CMB was a top 5 player in this draft, why I thought he was so damn good, is because he's going to have so many things that he's able to do defensively. As Trey said, you know, he clearly has the potential to be seen as the best defender in the draft, but I also think he has significant offensive utility. He's one of the best drivers in the class. The best big driver in this class, I think, is Derek Queen. But secondly, I think it's Colin Murray-Boyles. His finishing is relatively elite. He has extremely soft touch. He has great hands. He clearly is someone who can drive bigs. He's clearly someone who can create off the bounce, and he has an eye for making plays as a playmaker. This is all real. This is a huge deal. Now, if the Raptors end up this being like the first leg of a trade, I'm going to be heartbroken a little bit. However, I think that CMB is a guy who is really going to impress at the NBA level. The underrated thing here is that South Carolina did him no favors in the structure of their offense. They asked him to do a lot. It's a small floor. It's a tough floor. He did it without being an elite shooter, despite performing really well in the pull-up shooting at the NBA draft, the combine. Some things really have to get sorted out with his jumper. And I mean, really get sorted out with his jumper. His guide hand gets in the way. He has a hitch, but a lot of young players sort out their jumper, especially guys who profile as bigs as they get to the NBA. Trey, you need a ring light over there or something.
So turned off.
So Colin Murray-Boyles on a larger NBA floor as a grab and go wings, as a grab and go forward will exist, I think, really well next to Scotty Barnes. I think people are over indexing on the shooting. And while I'm not like completely certain that CMB is going to be a guy who like comes in and shoots that's funny, Trey in a dark place after the CMB pick. That's awesome. While I'm not certain that CMB is going to come in and shoot the lights out, I'm certain he's going to defend his ass off. He's going to give you huge production on that end. And I think his driving game and his overall floor game is going to make him a valuable offensive player. And that's the floor. I think his ceiling, he can be an all-star level player because of what he gives you on both sides if things shake out.
Can I ask you something?
Yep.
You obviously just very well detailed like how he gets that at all-star level. If you had to think of like the pathway for him to get more minutes on this Raptors team, to get more opportunities to develop, etc., how does like year one look for Colin in your opinion?
Year one looks like playing and supporting Scotty and Brandon and benefiting from their offense and guys like Quickly too, right? Like CMB, the problem that they've had with Scotty is that, and not to get too low on Scotty or anything, but Scotty has other priorities in how he wants to grow. But Scotty doesn't really want to run delay action and be like a screener and all that kind of stuff. CMB will do that stuff from the forward position. And as Nabil just said, he can be a play finisher on the roll out of the gate. Exactly. He can benefit from what Ingram and Quickly and Scotty are doing. He can be a facsimile of what Jakob provides, not defensively necessarily with the height, but offensively, he can give you that type of role. And there's going to be unique lineups that they run that are quite wing heavy. And he's going to be able to drive against bigs his whole career. Giovanni says Mobo and CMB are similar. I rebuke you. They're not similar at all. CMB was one of the best drivers in all of college basketball, and Mobo never did anything like that. So
I think CMB's like touch is way better than Mobo's also. Like
Mobo only ever dunked, and that was part of why that was part of why he was so compelling. But CMB has incredible touch. And Nabil says CMB has a chance to shoot it from the mid-range too. Certainly he does. He shot 22 of 30 on his pull-up and movement mid-range shots at the draft combine. He didn't shoot bad on them as at South Carolina. His touch was good on hooks. His touch was good at the rim. He had to make tough shots, and he's a great driver. So Colin Murray-Boyles, I can't believe it. My God,
your wish.
I'm happy for you, man. No, I'm kidding. I'm happy for us.
Losers.
Suns picked Malawach, by the way.
Yeah, the draft worked out perfect for them. They needed a big bad.
They literally, that was the best pick for them possible, or best outcome for them.
Yeah.
To be honest, okay, so if they didn't pick Murray-Boyles, would it have been Queen for you guys, or if it would have been someone else?
Okay, wait, say that again. Sorry.
If it wasn't Murray-Boyles, like if it was somehow Murray-Boyles went earlier, what would the pick have been for you guys? I know Trey, you would have been Queen, right? But
yeah,
I guess Carter probably. Carter or Nolan, yeah.
Oh, the Charlotte Hornets are sending Mark Williams to the Phoenix Suns for the 29th pick and a 2029 first round pick.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, for the 10th pick?
No.
Oh,
Just
So
a
the-
whole different thing.
so they just have Mark Williams and
Come on,
Malawach?
Malawach. Yeah.
I guess that's
Okay.
48 minutes of length.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad, man. My
Yeah.
guy. I'm really interested. The Raptors are primed to play some weirdo basketball. But
Yeah.
weirdo basketball is not a bad thing. And also, you know what this means?
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you. Those sneaky little Raptors front office. You guys can just talk to me. You don't have to tune into the podcast. Do we have any hot takes left over? I can't believe it was my guy. Wow.
I still hope they honestly, maybe this is just me kind of falling in love with the players that in this draft or whatever, but I still hope they find a way to get another first round pick. I don't know what that
Me
is,
too.
but that would be cool. I think it would be cool for them to try to get another first.
I'll also say I'm well aware that Raptors, because I've been saying that I really like Colin Murray-Boyles, I'm well aware that Raptors Twitter probably is not happy right now. And the Raptors as a wider, patience. This has happened before. And I think this is more so a Scotty selection in that it will please people and people will see that it makes sense more than it would be a Rafael Araujo. I'm not sure how to say it.
Rafael Araujo.
Araujo. Oh, I wasn't close. I wasn't.
You were
even
not close.
in the...
Yeah, you weren't even in the ballpark there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Dude, honestly, I like the pick. I get that people are really down on like the offensive fit, but I think that's probably like underrating what Colin Murray-Boyles can do as a passer. And what that enables you to do when you're not that great of a shooter. There's more kind of creative ways to use a guy if he's a talented passer, and like you say, Samson, a guy who can like get downhill and drive the ball. Like if all of that translates, then the shooting becomes a little bit less of a worry, although you obviously want him to eventually start to knock down some catch and shoot looks. Like I think there's a world where the offensive side is better than people are reacting to it right now.
Yeah.
His offense is much better than what people think.
Yeah.
I think people get really hung up on his shooting. And that's why they comp him to Mobo, is because they say, well, Mobo couldn't shoot, neither could CMB.
Undersized. Yeah.
But they are vastly different in what they do with the ball in their hands. That's just...
Yeah, CMB actually can handle the ball. Especially for his position, he has a really good handle overall. I like Mobo, like as much as I really liked that pick last year, like his processing speed and the reads that he make are manufactured within like the Raptors offense. CMB is able to put the ball on the floor, make a skip pass into the corner, then also have like the size and strength to like finish over guys. Like if his finishing like in with contact and traffic translates to the NBA, then he's gonna be a big timer. Like my question was mostly fit, and they obviously disregarded that, which is totally fine. He's one of the 10 best players in the class for me. And like defensively, like I'm very excited to see him and Scotty play together.
Same.
Like in a playoff series, that's a lot to deal with. That type of length, athleticism, and foot speed from guys that big is crazy.
Actually, you know what? Let me check something. Let me check if the other one got the film room I did got copyright claimed. I don't think it did with CMB. I can actually,
really?
I can upload his film then, and we can watch some. You guys want to watch some CMB film?
Sure.
We can do a live breakdown because I have some of his videos. Also, Nabil donated $5. Don't donate $5 to us, Nabil. And said, remember what I told y'all fellas about Wasserman Camp, Sam Vecini link, and look who he updated this morning. He's mocked to the Raptors. I assume it would be Colin Murray-Boyles. But yeah, we can watch a little bit of CMB film. Is everyone cool with that?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
I'm probably gonna head out once the 11th pick jumps in, but
You hear that? Big media scared to watch film. We already knew it. Oh man. Okay, so wait once. I just have to pause this. And remove that. Okay. And then, so is there anything you want to say before you get out of here? Yes.
No, I'm still rocking with y'all for now. But like,
Oh,
I like the pick. I like Colin Murray-Boyles. He's cool. Obviously, like not the first choice, but I can totally see the thing. Actually, Phoenix plays. He actually makes a really good point. When I first saw Colin Murray-Boyles is like crossover in the
yes.
post, he does have a little bit of Julius Randle to him in the way that he kind of uses the crossover to get separation in the post, which is cool. I like that. That type of stuff is cool to me. Shows more versatility than the comps that people are making with Mobo and whatnot. But yeah,
And
I'm down to watch some tape, man.
nobody complains about Randall's offense.
Right.
They
Yeah.
complain about his defense. And I tell you what, CMB is going to bring that noise. So this is just like some clips I put together. They give him a lot of pinch post touches, which is when you give them an empty side to post up and then you clear out to the other side. But you can see like sets the ghost screen, gets into place, splits that touch is so nice, man. And it's off of motion. He's servicing the offense by being a screener in a lot of these situations. And like catch middle, make something happen. He's perfectly comfortable. He shot really well at the combine, and he shot well in that area over the course of his season as well. You can see his touch at the rim with contact and all that kind of stuff is relatively elite. And so he can catch middle and he can make stuff happen. And this is not what Jonathan Mobo was doing. I just want to make that very clear. And he is a guy with a lot of utility as an offensive player. Now, the holdup obviously is the shooting. And we'll see what happens with the shooting. But me personally, I believe that I hope and believe like a little higher than 50% that something comes out of it. But yeah, you guys, we can keep letting this play. And if you guys see anything funky, go ahead, Trey.
We got a draft trade.
Yeah.
Memphis traded up to 11.
Yeah, they take Cedric Coward.
Coward.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, because Coward is great.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool, actually, for Memphis. They need that wing type too. That's I wonder what the return is though. But yeah,
there's actually a lot of good guys left.
Yeah, and look at the screen too. Like I want you guys just to get your guys' commentary, but like catch and move stuff, right? Catch, big bang, finish over top, great touch, and you can see like just catching in motion, able to make stuff happen at the rim.
That's a soft touch, man. Like that's not. I mean, you guys have watched Jonathan Mobo for the last year, like fumble that ball pretty consistently off the catch. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but like this is the difference here. It's
the strength. Like for his size, he has outlier strength. He finishes through contact and initiates contact super well. And like this play at the top of the key, like he understands the floor and the players around him, and he like manipulates where other guys should be on the floor, like with his passing, which is rare for a guy his size, and that's why people had him top 3, top 4 in some of their boards, because plays like this where he can initiate from the elbow, score in the lane. In that sort of sense, like the Raptors have those opportunities consistently within their offense. Like
Fellas, I'm gonna head out, but I'll be back after the Thunder make their pick. Okay.
Yes. Sounds good. We'll go back just a couple seconds to this, because this is a really good play. So what we saw, like obviously he's able to break down and get to the bucket quickly, but this is ball pressure, which is becoming more and more popular in the NBA. We just saw it in the finals a bunch. Setting a step up screen to free up your guy, then having the team react by like relenting that pressure, then just being asked to score on a big in space. CMB can do this at the NBA level, like very much so.
Yeah, he has strength and touch, and that will help him in the league. Like Scotty is a perfect example. His touch indicators actually weren't the greatest heading into Florida State, but like he had requisite like strength to separate between guys, and like the length made up for any like touch issues that he had. And like CMB, if he's going to succeed, will be fairly similar, but I think his overall like skill set and handle in space is like better than Scotty was as a prospect. He's like his handle is very skilled.
Yep. And he's shorter than Scotty is the big difference there, but he's shorter. He doesn't have the same top end vertical, but as far as like moving his body in space, he's more talented. I would assume Scotty probably also has a higher top end speed as well. But CMB, he'll pop in here, man. I think he's an excellent fit. Now, of course, like things could go sideways and a million different things could happen. But as far as I know, CMB is gonna be on this team, and he's as a number 9 pick. Trey guaranteed me a Hall of Famer. So we're gonna see what happens with that, man.
Yeah, he's a good player. Like and I think he's actually gonna be able to contribute pretty much right away, because like this play for example, like operating within the short roll, finishing in the lane in that sense. These plays were given to Orlando Robinson consistently throughout the year, and then this is going to be Emmanuel quickly in the corner and not a college player. He constantly had to finish in between traffic, in between multiple guys, because the defense was focused on him. I think his play finishing should really shine next to like BI and Scotty.
Yeah, he's just a very talented player. Like that's full stop why I really liked him, because he can do so many things on the floor. And we'll go to his defensive tape right after this, that is the best part of his game. But if you're watching this right now and this is your introduction to CMB, you're probably looking at like, wow, this guy provides stuff offensively. You're probably looking and say this guy's a really dynamic driver and a really dynamic finisher, and he can play make too. So that kind of stuff is a real positive. I guess I'll remove this and give us a chance to catch up on anything that we may have missed. Have we missed anything? Oh, also we gotta talk to Brendan. Brendan has to come on the episode. So people are saying CMB looks pissed. I didn't see it. Usually that stuff isn't real. Yeah. But I like the body language analysis is always tough, but I guess we'll see. I have to send this off to Brendan.
Yep.
And get him invited. Brendan Stewart, who has done so much great draft coverage for Raptors Republic over the years. Yeah. Giovanni says, does CMB pick me and some wings are getting moved? I don't know. Like the Raptors have been in conversations to move guys no matter what,
Yeah.
So yeah. So we have from SW says, he did not look angry. That's cap. And then Raps V says, you got to see it. It was very clear. Like that's perfect. That's so perfect. Yeah, Nabil, I'll send you a link as well. Let's see. I got a really funny text from Blake. Okay, Nabil, I'll send you. You can get your little AirPod mics and get in here with us. Gaffer Gab says, feels like CMB and Walter overlap in how they play. Walter better shooter.
Wow,
that is a new one. I've not heard that. And I'll tell you, Walter is a much better shooter. Like Walter is a way better shooter. Yeah. So Gary Roberts says, right now I hate the Raptors, bro. 6'7" center that can't shoot and has zero offense, of course. Why even trade OG? Oh man. And Samuel Barefoot says he really didn't look happy. I guess we'll see, man. I was too busy locked in to being excited. I would, maybe it would have been better if he reacted like I did, but I guess we'll see. All right.
This the Raptors MO. Like,
yeah,
I think we got spoiled the last 2 years. 2 guys that could really shoot the ball, but like the Raptors love long, rangy defenders, and like his touch indicators. Like I know the combine footage is horrific, but
the catch and shoot was nasty. Yep.
Yeah, but like his touch indicators like suggest that like with better mechanics, he'll be able to hit spot up threes, and if he can hit spot up threes, he can play 40 minutes a night. And out of the 9th pick, that's huge. And if him and Scotty can play together next to Jakob, you're looking at one of the best defenses in the NBA.
We talked, or well, to that point, yes, but we talked about this like on the last podcast episode we did, because ND asked us, what do you think? I actually think the fit with Scotty is tremendous. I think they especially because Scotty wants to play fast. I think defensively, they make so much sense. And I think that CMB is going to do a lot of the dirty work on offense that Scotty doesn't like to do, and he's going to be able to score and everything out of that. So I think it's going to be good. Nabil, where are you?
The legend.
Here we are, man.
Oh my God. I got a message saying, "Hey Josh, can you come on?" And I'm like, "Oh, Josh isn't available, but hey man, I'll fill the space, I'll fill the time."
Okay. Also, I got a text from Caitlin that says they took your guy. That's right. My influence on this front office is for all the good things that people like and none of the bad things. But Nabil, tell us what you think about CMB. You watched a lot of them.
Thank you for this gracious invitation. Happy to join you guys, and hello to the chat. CMB. So last year, South Carolina 2 years ago had a coaching change, I believe, with Lamont Paris coming in. So I think last year was the first or second year he did, and CMB actually missed the 2023-2024 season with mono for like most of it, and then I think towards the last like 10-15 games he came back and just like was crushing it. And that team was already doing well in the SEC. They famously, beat Tennessee when they had Dalton Connect, and they were like the darling of the SEC, and a bunch of draft Twitter started sort of like getting behind him, pushing him into the late lotto, but he chose to come back to school. But yeah, all the points you guys made about him all stand. I think the one thing that might be worth, if you do have time, is to go back and watch like some of those games that he did play last season. Like, as I said in the chat, like I think that how he was used then is probably how he will be used with the Raptors, as like a play finisher predominantly, and really being able to, set good screens, finish, make those short roll passes. And just an all around, I mean, that guy, really weird, interesting mover, big hands. I think he can defend 2 through 4, maybe some 5s, depending on like how small they go. But yeah, I mean the fit, who it is a little tough, but I mean this is a fascinating, fun, weird player. So I'm excited.
So Gary Roberts is upset in chat. Now I understand why you might be upset. However, I do have to. We're not coping, and I'll tell you why. I was saying that I want CMB way before this.
Yeah. I mean, you did the live stream a bunch of weeks ago, right?
Well, I've been a big fan of CMB for quite some time. Brendan disappeared. Device not connected. Okay, he'll pop back in. But so to give everybody, I guess, an update, because we never really said CMB's stats or anything like that. So for people who want to know, he's 6'6.5". About his wingspan is just above 7 feet. It's like close to 7'1". 240 pounds, 8'10", standing reach, just shy of 17 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1.5 steals, 1.3 blocks, 63% true shooting. He shot almost 60% from the field. He was 71% from the free throw line, and obviously 26% from 3. Pretty bad. He's a polarizing pick, especially at 9, and especially because this is an organization that wants guys who shoot that thing.
Sorry, so we got a trade. The Hawks traded 13 to New Orleans for the 23rd pick, I think, and New Orleans is taking Derek Queen. So they end up with Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen in this draft.
They've just earned 35 games out of me. Oh, buddy.
Whoa.
Oh, buddy.
Big easy Trey. Big easy Trey. You're locked in.
I am now a New Orleans Pelicans fan.
Wait,
you guys bring on so many. Oh, you bring
crazy.
on so many different. You guys are fans of so many teams. Wait.
So yeah, so the Hawks traded 13. Yes, for 26 and an unprotected 2026 list.
Sorry, Nabil. We have to get Brendan's thoughts on CMB.
Yeah. Go on,
Brendan.
Like I'm. I'm confused, I guess. I like CMB. I think he's really talented. I had him like somewhere in the teens on my board. I think the fit in Toronto's a little confusing. I'm very surprised as low. I was pretty low on Malawash, but I still thought he would have been a lock to them there. Like, I don't know. I'm a little caught off guard. Catch me up, guys. What have you been saying?
Well, if you didn't, I cracked this Mountain Dew at the start, and that meant good things were coming. CMB is my guy. He's a top 5 player in the draft for me. I really like CMB, and I've been preaching the gospel on his game for some time. But it doesn't matter what we think. We've been telling the audience for some time. Why was he in the teens for you? What are you scared of with his game? What are you excited about with his game?
Yeah, I think he's probably the second best defender in the draft behind Cooper Flagg. So you're getting like a really good defensive forward, which, you know, I think has been the smoke with Toronto this entire cycle, is that they were looking to kind of both add a star and improve defensively. And I think that's what connected players like Malawash to them. I did think there was like, you know, they were going to do their due diligence on CMB. I thought he would have been more of maybe a trade down guy. I'm a little surprised he went at 9, but
Ruh-roh. Okay. Well, once Brendan's internet gets better or sorts out, whatever, I just realized what a goddamn situation this is going to be for me to. Oh, Brendan. Okay, you're back. I was just thinking about like, oh man, editing all the audio files together at the end of this. That would be something else. Brendan, are you with us again? Uh-oh. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so while Brendan is gone, what have we missed here?
Nothing since the Derek Queen pick. Like 13 is just getting picked right now. But New Orleans is very fun, very funky. Like Zion and Derek is an ideal defensively, but like that level of like ball handling and driving ability together is going to be very dangerous. And plus, add that with Jeremiah, they're probably going to try to play very fast, especially with the wings that they have, and hope Herb can make up for some of that defensively. But they're going to be very fun.
All right. Do we want to watch Colin Murray-Boyles' defense together? Now that,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Gary Roberts. I'll just say, like, for anybody who doesn't like this pick, it's the Raptors liked him. There are reasons to like this guy. However, you know, if you don't like, man, players get picked that you don't like, and sometimes guys pop off, sometimes they don't. That's the name of the game. But them's the breaks. Here we are. We got defense, baby. Hanging in, getting some blocks. This one, you can just see him tracking on the back of the play. He pre-switches. He jumps out, takes away the handoff. Once again, just badgering. You can't drive in on him. You can't create angles against him. He's just he constricts so much of what you want to do. And this too, like this. Okay, so this play, Jeremiah Fears is the most explosive guard in the draft. Maybe if you combine like his handle. Now watch this. This is a hedge. And what you want to do in a hedge is you want to set the edge and you want to make sure that the player cannot get around you. And you also want to make sure that they can't split. CMB blows him up, dude. Absolutely. That's Jeremiah Fears.
Yeah.
Blows him up. And he does it a couple times across this this package. And you can just see when he's one pass away, he creates so much chaos and so much disruption. And he's so aggressive. He's so aggressive, and he has such great instincts defensively, and he's such a tremendous playmaker. He covers ground. Look at that rotation, man. Coming out of a switch to get that. Trey, you said you think he could be the best defender in the draft. I'll give you an opportunity to talk over the highlights here.
Yeah. I think a big thing with CMB and why I think he has the ability to just play like this, he can guard the rim and also stick on the perimeter and operate also as a free safety. Like Draymond Green's one of the best defenders of all time. What makes him really good is his natural instincts, and the rotations that CMB makes aren't things that are drawn up within your scheme. He has the natural feel and instincts to come over and cause chaos from the other side of the court, which is very rare. That shows a lot about his instincts and feel overall. Where I think like Cooper obviously is a great defensive player, but a lot of that is more deliberate, weak side rim protection, which many players can operate and do. Whereas CMB, he's a terror defending the rim. He's a terror when the ball is on the floor because of his hands, and he's just so long and strong. And there isn't a necessary switch where you feel like he's in any sort of trouble. Like if a big is on him, he has the strength and length to guard that player. Late shot clock, he can stick with guards too. So him and Scotty have a real chance to become like one of the best defensive like front court duos in the NBA. And that's going to lead to turnovers, and those guys are both great in transition and great finishers. So it's going to allow the Raptors to play faster also.
Yeah. And also, this is Fears. He's coming off of a Chicago action, right? And we're going to see Fears. He's coming uphill. And CMB is like, he got lost for 1 second and immediately recovers to take that away. And we'll also see him switch out as well. So he switches out on Fears. It's no more hedge and recover. He's able to stonewall him for this whole possession, right? And then he gets screened and that rotation to the middle to take it away. It's that utility of protecting the perimeter and being able to switch out and recover back to the rim and take things away. He's just able to provide so much there. We're going to pause this stuff and bring Brendan back in, and hopefully the Wi-Fi is in a better spot. Brendan, how you doing? How you feeling?
Doing good, feeling good. Yeah, sorry for getting cut off. I hope this time is a little more stable. Yeah, I'm not sure where I dropped. I was again.
It was like basically right at the start. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think he's the second best defender in the class behind Flag. I think as a like a playmaking forward, he's got a pretty solid passing vision. I don't know. I like him. I think he's talented. I had preferences here that weren't him. He probably would have been in my top 10. I don't know about top 5. But yeah, I don't know.
Who did you like better?
I really like Derek Queen here.
Wow, another Queen lover.
Hey man, I think despite the defensive concerns with Queen, I think like his offensive potential is just sky high. But like I guess same can be said with CMB. I think he can be like an all-league defensive guy. I'm not sure if that little reaction he had when he was picked was like a fuck, like I'm going to the Raptors moment, or is it just like I like a moment of disbelief?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
My dad was like, "Did you see that? It looks like he doesn't want to go there." And I was like, "I don't know, man."
Okay.
I think again, if that is like a concern on his mind, like he's kind of like a baby Scotty almost, and then he's gonna go play with Scotty, but he's also gonna be stuck behind him. Yeah, it's weird.
I think they'll play well together. Somebody sent me the clip. I'll have to download it and upload it so we can watch it together. But I'll say for people who are like, CMB got drafted to the Raptors, yes. There are limitations on the Raptors around shooting, yes. It is not CMB's job to fix the Raptors as the selection. They could pick the best shooter available every time if they want to fix that, but that's not how you draft, and that's not actually how you build a team. If they thought CMB was the best player available and they can make sense of his fit, which I think they can, then they go for that because, you know, RJ Barrett has limitations as a guy who spaces the floor, but you don't build around like that limitation, and RJ Barrett might not be there forever. Scotty Barnes had a terrible year shooting the 3 last year. It might get better this year. And Scotty Barnes, when he got drafted, everybody loved him and said he makes no sense on the Raptors team that had Pascal and OG. And his limitations didn't make sense to people at the time, but you draft not based on the limitations of your team, because you can't just draft guys and be like, they fixed us, this rookie. You draft guys based on, I think this guy's going to be really damn good. And that's what I think CMB is. I think he's going to be really damn good. I did just see the video of him reacting to it, though. So I would err on the side of like him being like, man, like crazy.
That's
got
that was
drafted
kind of
really
my
high?
interpretation of it too, because
Yeah.
I don't think players would just like display their displeasure with going to a team openly. I think the
Well,
worst you're gonna get is like Ace Bailey.
yeah,
Yeah.
and also on top of that too, it's like he got drafted top 10. This was not a guarantee for him. You know what I mean? He might be like, damn, okay, but his whole family looks mad. I can't do the whole family. I can't go analysis down the line. But yeah, there's definitely people worried about the fit. But Nabil, before we let you go and I bring you back in for probably Jameer Watkins tomorrow night, you can join Blake and I and Cody as well as we talk about. But any final parting shots on CMB?
Yeah, I think just valid concerns about the shortcomings in this game and like what the roster fit would be. But I think you put it pretty eloquently. Like you draft BPA talent, and I think this is a great player, and I'm excited to watch him play. And again, I'll just reiterate, I'd encourage you, if you can get a hold of any tape from last season, to go watch, to see him as a play finisher, to see where he can really shine with the Raptors out the gate. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Nabil, thank you for coming on.
Cheers.
We'll let you go. Trey,
Thanks, fellas.
I know you've been paying attention to other things. Can you update me on what's been happening at all? Is there anything interesting or exciting?
Connor Bryant to the Spurs. They're gonna destroy the league. They're gonna destroy the league one day.
That's
Man,
a really awesome pick for them.
it's a perfect pick.
Wow. Oh, he makes a lot of sense there. God, the Spurs are spoiled rotten. They got Castle in the perfect place. They got Wemby. Oh, they went up to number 2. Oh man, they are spoiled rotten.
Yeah, this is gonna be the guy that's gonna be their long term wing, the defense, the best player on the floor in a playoff series. He's gonna play there for 10 years. You already can see it.
Well, I guess we've probably put like 40 minutes of CMB analysis into this, which is probably enough. And you and I talked about CMB a lot, Trey and I know you and Cody talked about CMB a little bit as well, Brendan. Brendan, is there anything else you're looking forward to the rest of this draft that you think is interesting as a guy who has watched so many of these players?
Yeah, I think I don't know, the reason why I like covering the draft so much is you grow to learn about these players and then you kind of become invested in where they go to. So pretty much like all 60-ish guys I got really in depth on this year, I'm really interested in seeing on where they go. And like Jakusionis is still still to be picked. I thought
And
he was a
Senge
lot.
as well, right?
And Senge.
No, he got picked.
And
Senge is a Bulls.
Oh yeah. Okay, right.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
There you go.
That was the one I missed.
Yeah.
I like that pick for them.
Yeah, they could play fast with him.
He and Buzelis might be pretty interesting next to one another.
It'd be a pretty athletic duo.
What do you think of Noah's athleticism, Brendan? Pretty high on it?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was like not spectacular, but like effective. And like
It's a good way
you
to put it.
really saw it defensively too. I always thought he was like a really just quick and uses his athleticism for his defense anyway, is how I felt about it. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a good fit. I liked Asenge really a lot I liked his ability to draw fouls. That was, I thought, huge considering a player like kind of as raw as he is. I think that's a pretty advanced skill to kind of already be really good at. Yeah, I don't know. He's a solid player. I thought he was my prediction for who we were going to pick tonight.
Well, I really like CMB, but I certainly did not predict that the Raptors. I thought the Raptors would be leery about the fit, which I liked and spoke to why I liked it, but I thought they would be leery of it. I'll ask you, does the Raptors picking CMB make you more confident in him as a player?
Yeah, because I've really liked their past few draft classes. Like Grady, Jacoby have been awesome. Shed, Mobo, both guys I liked in the process. And they've seemed to have gone away or kind of go towards like more skilled players in the last couple of years, which I really appreciate. And I think that maybe they're seeing a bit more of Colin, as a playmaker that he didn't get to show off as much, or maybe they think that the shot isn't super broken. That's something they can fix. Then that makes a lot of sense. But I think that it is something to keep in mind that he is still like an outstanding defensive prospect, and maybe that was enough for them.
Well, that's when it was maybe the end of season stuff. I can't remember if it was Bobby or Masai. I think it was Masai. When he was being asked about like what they're looking for in the draft, he was like, there's just no way we can go towards a player who can't give us something on defense. And they seemed pretty adamant about that. And some of the commentary publicly is like smoke screens, of course, but CMB is certainly not. He leads with defense, like, to be sure.
Yeah.
Also, Frank Thibault donated $7. Thank you, Frank, and said, thanks for the introduction to CMB. Grat Samson, you got your guy. Go grab a peanut punch. Hell yeah, baby. Those things are so damn sweet. Woo-wee. Any predictions for the rest of the first round, I guess, Brendan?
Yeah, I think Coward I thought would have been a steal. I think it's great that Portland went and got him.
Yep. He fits awesome on that team.
Yeah, I agree. I was a little worried when I saw like some people saying they liked Jekachonis or Demon, and I was a little worried that they were just going to be overloaded with guards, but I really like Coward's fit there.
Mm-hmm. I think, man, looking back, or I guess I'll save this for when it's just Trey and I, but Coward was a really. Oh, ND says Coward's on the Grizzlies, not the Blazers.
The Grizzlies traded up.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh yeah, okay.
I thought I was thinking about him next to Tumani Kamara, but now him stepping into next to like Jaren and Jaw also makes a ton of sense.
I still really like that fit.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's just as well. Okay, before Trey and I get together to, I guess. Oh, Sorber just went to the Thunder.
I like that pick a lot.
Everyone here likes Sorber.
Yeah, I was big on Sorber.
Yeah, he can do a lot of the stuff that Hartenstein does long term for them, and like defensively, he can take on the physicality that like Chet can't currently do. So I think it's a perfect fit. How do
you feel about it, Brendan?
Yeah, same thing. Really, really like him, like kind of as a versatile big. I liked his playmaking vision a lot. I liked his defensive instincts. I liked his processing. I think he's going to be a great fit on the Thunder. Of course, Sam Presti, outstanding draft team they have down there in OKC, and it's just unreal how it seems to be they get all these amazing guys in the draft.
They've done a good job. He reminds me right now less of Hartenstein and more of Jalen Williams, but like a much more impressive Jalen Williams. But that's, I don't know. Comps are hard.
Jalen with an I, right?
Yeah. Yes, not J Dub. Yeah. I'd earnestly being like, I think he'll give you 40 in a finals game in a few years. But yeah, before I let you go, Brendan, and before Trey and I wrap this up, because we're not doing 4 hours of draft coverage, I don't think.
No, yeah, you guys have been in it for the long haul, eh?
Yeah. The 1 year there was like, we had that, I'm sure you remember, Brendan, we had that rotating cast of 8-9 people for the Coloco draft.
Oh yeah.
And God, it was, I don't even remember how long that went, but oh my days. But anything you want to say before we say bye?
No, yeah, I think it's been a great draft so far. A lot of surprises, a lot more to go, and I think the second round should be equally entertaining if we hold on to 39.
Yep, fingers are crossed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Say thanks to Brendan in the chat. We'll let him go, and then Trey and I will sort this out before we get out of here, and then I'll start clipping this podcast together with the CMB propaganda I was peppering throughout. All right, Brendan. Later, brother.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
That was Brendan, who has been Raptors Republic's #1 draft guy for years. He's done so much work, and hell yeah, man. So before we get out of here, oh my God.
What?
Oh,
The legend. Wow.
What's up?
Oh my days. He's got the headset on like C. Cooper as well. Big dog. Oh man. We have Josh Codenera, professional scout in the building. Josh, how you feel about CMB?
I love it, bro. Yeah, I've seen CMB since I think 2022.
He's already doing
yeah.
the
But I watched him in Vegas a couple times when he played for Wasatch Academy. So he was like he did all the little things on that team. There was like a bunch of high D1 guys on that team, and he was doing all the little things. So I was quite moved. But for him to go end up on the Raptors is pretty cool to see. So yeah.
What do you think about his driving game? Do you think that's real at the next level?
Yes, yeah, 100%. I think he's gonna be like an entry man type of guy. So like you can put him in spots like all over the floor, on the short roll, like Trey mentioned, in the dunker spot, and he can actually make plays from there. He's not just gonna be a play finisher. He's actually gonna be a guy that can read the floor, make reads in the different areas. I'm quite moved by the places you can put him in on all over the floor. So yeah.
Well, how do you feel about I guess the context he's going into? Because obviously if he were like, they make the Draymond comps, and Draymond being next to Steph is an important part of his story, to be able to like catch and make plays downhill out of delay or split action. But CMB in the context of the Raptors, how do you feel? Because that's obviously what a lot of people are feeling. Oh,
wow.
Trey, before what?
Hanson Yang.
At 16?
Ooh.
Everybody we like, dude, everybody the Pull Up Trey podcast likes rockets up draft boards, dude. I told you, Hanson Yang, I love that guy.
Wow.
Bess
Memphis
is in the building too. He saw
no,
Josh
this is
before and he had to
Jeez.
come on. Whoa.
Yo,
Wow.
We knew Hanson Yang wasn't going to be there, but Hanson Yang is awesome.
Yes.
wow.
Yes.
Yank and hoop.
How does he fit in
16.
Portland though?
Shut up, dude.
They're
He's
definitely
great.
trading one. They're definitely trading one of the bigs. Holy.
Oh my
Hanson
God.
Yang, he's slick. He's very good, man. And he has the defenders to protect him up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. God, could you imagine if he was gettable at 39? Anyway, Hanson Yang. The fit, Josh, between the Raptors and CMB.
Yeah, the split action stuff, the delay stuff with Grady, with Jacoby, with IQ, I think it's gonna be pretty cool. So I think the bench lineups is gonna be really, really fun. At least for next season. So
yeah. I'm excited, man. This is like when the Raptors drafted Jacoby, the chat was very pro Jacoby. This was a lot of this. It's interesting. Like the fan base is kind of like about this. It's CMB. I'm excited for him, man. I think it's gonna be good. Any interesting insights since you've been away doing the athletic podcast?
I spoke to Eric Corrine on the athletic podcasting and got his thoughts on CMB. Very Raptors-y player, as he says. Obviously, everybody's I know. Everybody's kind of wondering about the offensive side. I was just watching kind of like a highlight reel that Roshan on Twitter posted, pick and row.
Yeah, pick and row. Yes.
Yeah.
We didn't actually get to do it, but he was supposed to come be a guest during the run up.
Really?
His work is good. Yep.
So he basically just said, look, he scored a staggering 69.9% true shooting in isolation possessions, ranked 88th percentile in points per possession. I mean, like low sample, but still.
That's Jonathan Mobo.
Pretty good. I know you guys went through the tape, but like it is pretty intriguing how cool his face-up game is, and some of the like ability to like take contact and embrace the contact and finish. I guess you just got to wait to see it on the floor and how that translates against the physicality in the NBA. But I'm selling myself. I love it. I do like the pick. You know, I'm locked in. Let's go. CMB. YMCMB. You know,
You know
Young
what's
Money, Cash Money, billionaires. You know, why not?
you know what's kind of funny is like obviously I said I liked Mobo for much different reasons than I like CMB, and I watched CMB a lot more than I watched Mobo before the draft last year. But all year people were giving me a lot of grief about Mobo. If CMB does not pop, people are gonna be busting my ass this year, man.
Yo, Henson Yang is coming from the bleachers, bro.
That's crazy.
He's
Mhm.
coming
Wow.
from the bleachers.
He looks
Wow.
good. Good suit.
Yeah, nice. Suit.
Josh as well. Defense for CMB. I'd love to know what you think.
Yeah, the thing that stuck out to me is like how well he uses his chest. He's a really chesting defender. Uses his powerful legs to like keep guys in their spot.
Mhm.
He's really strong at holding them in their position. Sorry, I'm just reading off my notes. Honestly.
Yeah, that's hey, dude,
Cook,
that's
bro.
okay.
Cook. Yeah.
You're the pro.
Chill. But yeah, he's really good instincts. I think Trey already outlined that. Really good instincts on the back line. I do wonder if like initially I think his length and his recovery, if it's gonna translate early on, I think it's gonna be a little bit tough because he is smaller. But he is explosive. He does hold space. I think I know Cason Wallace is
Hold
like a guard.
space. I saw you react as well, Trey.
But I think a lot of ways that Lou Dort is able to like jump and hold that position in air, I think CMB kind of has the physical attributes to do the same thing. So I'm quite big on him defensively as well. So two-way playmaker, if I'd say.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. And last thing I'll lean on your expertise for, because this is, you and I have sat together in this room, Josh, and diagnosed Grady's jumper. You have a really fantastic jumper. You're pretty good at diagnosing that kind of stuff, finding points of failure. What do you think about CMB's jumper going forward? Because he does have rather elite touch, but it's messy jumper.
I think if they can figure out how to like simplify the lower end of his shot, because I don't mind like his release. I think it's just the lower end, fixing his footwork, fixing his kind of that energy transfer as soon as he sets his feet, and then once it comes through, it's not like pausing right here. It's that the hitch is removed. I think there's a lot of good things at the top of his jumper that he can kind of work off of, and whoever trains him.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Sure, yeah.
How much do you buy? Like, what's the threshold number for like free throw percentage for buying into him eventually becoming a good shooter? Like, what's a good
I don't think
number?
it's what's
Okay.
No,
Because people always bring that up.
I'll let Samson finish the thought.
I don't think it's as good an indicator as it used to be thought of.
Fair.
And especially, CMB, I guess if you're doing the free throw thing, the big thing about CMB, clearly with his proficiency as a pull-up shooter, and what Josh was pointing out, the lower half, is when CMB, and what he's an isolation player, when he gets to set his rhythm and organize himself how he wants as a pull-up shooter at the free throw line, kind of set up, that he's very clearly making, when he can organize the ball to the top of his shot and let his touch take over, it works. And that's what Josh is speaking to. But catch and shoot, you don't always get to set the terms perfectly. Although you can do a lot of work in your shot prep to, alleviate that stuff.
Yeah, I guess that was the question, because everybody.
Oh no, but Josh, please.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I agree. Yeah, I do. I think he's gonna be. I think the mid-range stuff is gonna come before anything. Just because like there's not like when you set up into your shot, you could use your touch more in the mid-range and close moving in. So if he can figure out the lower body stuff, I think that'll help him a lot in the future.
Okay. Anybody else have any other thoughts on Raptors, or we'll answer this from Nabil as well. Any insight on him being a momentum shooter, especially from mid-range when he's able to take a jab and set it into a shot? Yeah, that's what I mean by like setting his rhythm. And when you get to set your rhythm, your body kind of remembers and organizes on its own. And that's when you have the ball in your hands. That's when you get to do that. some of this is biomechanics, some of this is just like the way that your body organizes in space. But on top of that, I just think really good catch and shoot shooters do a lot of prep work, and CMB can do, like, he can help himself a lot by being ready to shoot from three. And also, in particular, I wonder if they might pop him to his right, if they're going to pop him to his right, and so that he can be moving to his right when he gets into his shot, because that actually helps him a lot, and also means if he gets an aggressive closeout, he can turn it back left against a moving defense. So that's some of the more important stuff. Also, Traore is still available is a good point. Yeah. Any other, before we get out of here and I start chopping this thing together to make a shorter video about it? Are you doing like a video essay on CMB? Are you cooking something up?
Not that I have planned, but
Okay.
if you cook, bro, cook. You do your thing. Yeah.
I'll just be repurposing, but
Yeah,
I didn't care to do it if
no.
you were doing something.
Go nuts.
I remember that Oppenheimer style prep for the finals, man. I don't know if I ever seen something better. Okay, Trey, anything you want to say before you get out of here?
I'm excited for the pick. Like we're gonna see him in a couple weeks, obviously.
Same. Yeah.
So
live
yeah.
and
Me too.
all four. Wait,
Live
Trey, I didn't say it earlier. Are we allowed to say it?
Are you? Oh
Yes.
yeah. Are you allowed to say
That's
it?
what I'm saying.
Are you allowed
to say it?
That's fair. Like, what are the odds, though? To be honest,
No Raptors fans. Okay.
fair enough.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
But yeah,
So we're still not gonna say it.
okay. So yeah. Anyway, we'll be watching Colin Murray-Boyles from Vegas. Okay,
Yeah.
Trey. Parting shots for yourself.
yeah. The last for anyone like who's obviously been looking through the timeline, the last time the timeline was this like divided on a pick, it was one of the best Raptors picks in history. Like CMB, I think is one of the best players on the board.
Yeah.
And the Raptors clearly chose talent over fit, which
Mhm.
the last time they did it, it worked out very well. Trust him aside that this is going to work out well. And again, another thing, they won 30.
Oh my god.
They won 30 games, so there is no bad fit because they weren't good. So let's get good players in the door.
Okay. Josh, final thoughts on CMB and the draft overall so far?
Yeah, I like the pick. Big on CMB since 2022.
You bastard.
Jokes aside, I like the pick, and I'll be excited to see him live in Vegas for the 5th time.
Yeah. And since is there anybody you kind of like in the second round? Anybody Flyers that we should keep an eye on that might be interesting?
I'll say an undrafted guy.
Okay.
Chance McMillan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is he related to Nate McMillan?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Worth a shot.
But he's like Isaiah Joey type of shooter.
If you
player,
can get
so.
that guy in the second round,
Yeah.
I mean, or undrafted, that's a home run.
Undrafted. Yeah.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
I see people doing the reaction thing. Did you guys talk about this?
Not
Oh yeah,
really.
we did
Oh.
talk about it.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought to me watching it back, I thought it was more of like a fuck yeah, like instead of it didn't seem like a mad reaction. It seemed more like, holy crap, I just got drafted. I got drafted. Hell yeah. I don't know.
he took a visit with the team. He worked out for the team.
Yeah.
He was
Yes,
interviewed
all of the above.
and he
Even
said
before
he liked it here.
when at draft lottery, he literally said like, "Yo, I really like the organization. Looks cool, fits the type of players, etc."
Okay.
There's literally, I feel like people are going crazy over this.
We'll go. I'll pull it up on screen. Okay, I'll share my screen. We'll go watch the tweet really quick. Sound good, everybody?
Sure.
That's what we're gonna
Cook,
do.
man. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
Here we go.
With the 9th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Toronto Raptors select Colin Murray-Boyles from the University of South Carolina. with the 9th pick.
Okay.
I don't think that was
You guys who have been overreacting, you're so nuts. That's a positive reaction.
yeah. He literally smiled, said,
He's
"Damn."
overcome.
Yeah.
he
What?
just
The whole
reached his
time
dream.
we've been entertaining this, and
I
he's
hate
just
people, man.
jazzed.
Yeah.
I should have watched this earlier. He looked ecstatic.
No, he did not say. I didn't see that at all. I see some of the comments saying like, "Yeah, he said no, hell no, fuck the Raptors." Or no, he didn't say any of that. This is
Yep.
body language, doctor. Y'all are tripping, man.
What the? What? Where are people? Oh my days.
Yeah,
He
this is
looked
crazy, man.
good.
This is nuts.
I will
Walter
not
Clayton with the
police. I
18th
will
pick,
not
by the way.
police this young man's reaction. That looked
No,
good
man.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's nuts. That's crazy. Walter Clayton, by the way, to the Wizards with 18. Yeah.
That makes
all,
sense.
All 20 of
He's
my
just-
cousins called me about the. Sorry to interrupt, Sassy. They're like, "Oh, did you see the reaction?" All 20 of my cousins called me. So
Yeah, nobody called me, dude. I gotta. Oh. Summer Low says you're coping. He literally shook his head and dropped the F-bomb. I'm an adult, man.
He
People
was-
swear.
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
use the
he
F-bomb
shook
a
his-
lot.
I feel like this. Okay, that's funny. Anyway, if you guys, you can have a wide reaction to things. Have you guys ever watched this podcast and watched Trey compliment me? Yeah, you know it's. That looked good to me, but I've been in a bunch of different. That seems like seeing him say the F word, saying fuck, seems like an all too literal reading of it. He got drafted 9th overall. He's fucking ecstatic, I think. All right.
Yeah.
Look what his girlfriend says to him. I can't do this, man. I can't do it.
What is his girl? Hold on, I'm watching it here. What's the tape? What? Nothing. She doesn't say nothing, man.
You read her.
she says
What-
it's okay, something like that.
She
But like,
could, so he doesn't burst into tears. It could
Yeah.
be literally.
Yeah.
Let
Anything.
me run it back. We're giving this way too much attention already. She says it's okay.
Colin, newest member of the Toronto Raptors. How are you soaking in this dream come true moment?
I didn't even see her lips move. Oh God, you know what?
Yeah, I don't see any of this, man.
I don't
see
care.
it, man. I'm sorry.
I don't care enough about any of this. He got drafted 9th overall. I'm sure he's really happy.
Yeah, man.
What was the
course.
last one? What was the last one that went really poorly where someone looked like they were super, super disappointed? What was the last one?
The only one I can remember, I remember Zach LaVine had a bad reaction to getting drafted
To Minnesota?
to Minnesota. Yeah,
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
he was really upset.
Was Embiid a bad one? No, I don't think he was. Jalen Williams. Oh, J-Dub had a bad reaction?
I don't remember this. Ace Bailey's, you could see the pain in his eyes. He's going to literally the worst place in America. I'm so sorry for
Yeah,
that.
Ace Bailey, honestly. And by the way, that's like, you know what? Not the conversation to have right now. There's other worse places in America. Utah's pretty bad, though. Utah's pretty bad. Not denying that. Walter Clayton got traded to the Utah Jazz, by the way. Funny enough. Yeah.
Oh, brother.
wow.
Oh,
They are just stacking
Wow.
those guards, man.
Oh my God.
Free
a
Walter.
donation of $14 from Alex Lillum. Thank you, Alex. Says, wow, they passed on. Come on, a 7-2 lob threat, shot blocker, a modern day Andrew Bynum, not even Derek Queen. So obviously, Alex wanted a big, and
Yeah.
I've not heard the name Andrew Bynum around these parts in quite some time.
Wow.
Andrew Bynum was not much of a lob threat, though. I'll say he was pretty ground bound. Although he
Post up
was,
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Colin, I mean, this is like when Trey and I talked about him, we clearly thought that he's an NBA big. It's just about whether you think he's at 9 or not. And I don't believe that. I'm not a star upside guy. I'm not an all-star upside guy with Common. Not really. I don't see it. I'd love to be wrong because then he's just a great young player, which is good for him no matter where he is. But nobody here is super big on Common to speak to that, I don't think, right? No. All right. S. We got everyone else's parting shots. What's yours?
I'm one of those guys that can be sold on anything. So I came into this saying like, hey, it would be awesome to get Derek Queen or Carter Bryant. Colin Murray-Boyles, I did like a tier thingy where I was like, this would be the perfect, this would be good. Colin Murray-Boyles was in my good. I do enjoy what he can bring to the Raptors. I'm buying into it more and more just by hearing you guys, watching more stuff. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he can bring year one, because like obviously the defensive upside is tremendous, and that makes this Raptors team really exciting on the defensive end. A team that like hung its hat on defense for the last bit of the season. That to me is all exciting. I think Raptors fans should be excited for this. I think they should not worry about reactions and, you know, all that type of stuff. I think they should be really happy. Some people that are really smart about the draft had Murray-Boyles like fifth in their mock drafts.
Yeah.
You
You
know
talking about me? That was me.
It's the folk.
Some people, I don't want to say who, but some people, yeah, no.
I definitely wouldn't say I'm smart about the draft, but
Yeah.
there were other smart people who felt really good about
There were a lot of people who were
CMB.
fans about Colin Murray-Boyles. So, yeah, I think it's a good pick. I think Raptors fans should be really happy about it.
Okay, my parting shots is, I'll say this, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Trey and I talked about this a lot this year, that it's fine. I know everyone's like, well, Jamison Battle, he's like a part of the team. He has to be there. Jamison Battle doesn't have to be there. I really like Jonathan Mobo, but you would not let loving Colin Murray-Boyles, you wouldn't let your second-round pick from last year change that. Grady Dick didn't change the selection of Jacoby Walter. In 4 years, it might not, the team won't look the same. They have to update, continue to try and do all that kind of stuff. If they thought CMB was awesome, and RJ, for example, they're like, well, what about with RJ? RJ was in a trade at the deadline. RJ is getting talked a million different places. The NBA moves. And if you think there's a guy who's awesome, you pick him.
Yeah.
And this really was an example of the very first draft podcast that Trey and I did. We talked about the best player available approach. And I think everyone says you take the best player available, but in the discussion around CMB, we saw that that isn't necessarily true. People think he's fun, but worry about his fit. And I think CMB is like its best player available. You don't know what the team is going to look like in 3 years, but if you think CMB is going to be a badass player in 3 years, that's who you pick. Nobody knew that, you know, Pascal wouldn't be here, OG wouldn't be here, Fred wouldn't be here, but the Raptors really like Scotty. Bob's your uncle, Becky's your aunt.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about CMB, but I like it. And I'm excited to come back here tomorrow and talk about CMB with Blake Murphy and Cody Wiles and whoever the hell else that we talk about for pick number 39.
Big
so
guns.
like the video before we get out of here, I'll chop this up and get us more of a filtered down version of everyone's CMB takes. Josh, thank you so much for hopping on.
Oh, wait. Before you guys head out. Sorry.
Yeah. Producer, you do whatever you want.
Oh, shut up. You guys absolutely bodied the draft.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
End the pod, please.
And you hate the compliments, so I'm giving you guys compliments. You guys bodied the draft coverage. It was awesome. I feel like everybody here can. Yeah. I know you guys hate this stuff. Shout out to you guys. I know everybody here is really happy about that too. So you guys deserve your flowers for that. That's all I gotta say. Peace. Nothing. That's
Buy us something nice in Vegas.
Yeah. I got you.
Remember what Max spent his money on? We want that.
I'll get you guys in the pool, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get us.
Oh, please.
Please. Our pool was so cold. Trey and I were sitting there quiet. Think about Trey and I. We do a podcast together, and like when we're in the car or whatever, sometimes we can be quiet for like 5 minutes. We're friends. We're comfortable with that. But it was like 40 minutes of Trey and I sitting meekly in a cold pool. Oh my God. Also, I'll take some time. Basically, everyone that we liked, this keeps happening. This podcast picks guys that we like. were usually a little bit earlier. Suddenly they're rocketing up draft boards.
Jeez.
Wonder who's
See?
watching.
See?
I don't know. Yeah, just having fun. That pool was so cold, and then S took us to the MGM VIP pool because he's
Gotcha,
like
man.
real
that.
life.
I got you, man.
Trey, you
Rose!
guys wanted
Yeah.
guys wanted a cold pool, but Trey and I were like, it's hot.
I need the heat.
It was hot. It was a hot ass pool, man.
Are we going back to Top Golf this year? I want to go to Top Golf.
I'm down.
Well, I'm only seeing you guys for a couple days, but we'll figure it out.
Oh
We'll-
yeah, you're
we'll-
only seeing us for one day.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of
figure it
lame, actually.
I
Yeah.
know. I agree. Freaking Coldplay.
No kidding. All right, everybody. Like the video before you get out of here. It helps us out a ton. Comment and subscribe. If you want to learn about CMB going forward, come to a guy who's been championing them from a couple months ago, and in the bottom corner over here, somebody who's been championing him for 4 years, damn near, Josh Conera. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you all very much. If you're coming in late, I'll have a filtered version of all this. Thank you so much from myself, from Brendan, from Josh, from Nabil, from Trey, from S. We love you lots, whether you got into this in the morning or at night. Have a blessed day and goodbye.